Checking mics. I do love me the future of streaming where pretty much everything is instantaneous. That is kind of fun. All right, how's everybody doing this beautiful Saturday night? I blinked and it was Saturday again. That's how this week's going. How about y'all? I could probably turn that down a smidgen, maybe? Turn the music down another smidgen? There we go. Bots and Blasters, nice to see you. Thanks for coming out. Blee, nice to see you. American Foam, Valtech. I think I saw Rohirrim in there. Wall comment is iconic Pete. This is actually a new shirt that I just got from Homely. Look at that. I swear he did this on purpose. I'll have to try to get my best cleavage angle going for you guys so you can actually see it. There we go. People from Instagram need to go to a school bus and smell the bus driver's seat. That is oddly specific, Jeremiah Castro with the Nerf rifle charger. Oddly specific! Christos Exarchos. Maybe that's how you pronounce it. Do you have merch? I do. There's a YouTube merch shelf. Nobody buys it. It gets like 40 clicks a day. I kind of gave up on it. If you guys want new merch, there's potential for that. I'll just ban you here too. How about that? That's a great way to get yourself unbanned, is to spam my chat asking to be unbanned. That's a great idea. Because now I don't even have to listen to your case on why you were banned, even though I was probably not the one who banned you. And if I did ban you, there's probably a good reason for that. Is pocket sand effective in a Nerf war? As funny as that is, don't ever do that. Rohirrim, were your blasters not showing enough cleavage on Instagram or not enough? Showing too much or not enough? It's a great question. So, and I actually saw Valor higher up talking about this too. Why is this so loud? It's on like 4%. I see another comment here that I need to talk about, but Valor was talking about how he posted a picture of the seagull and got his account restricted, which is what happened to me. However, it had happened way before that and I wasn't aware. So this is a seagull. We'll talk about it. I'd like to get your feedback. I've been struggling. I've probably recorded the video 5 times now, and I'm still not happy with it in any degree, and that's becoming a reoccurring problem in my life that I don't know how to deal with, which is why there was no videos this week, and I don't know how much more I can take in not being able to get videos that I like done. Hey, Proctophile. Because, man, I don't understand Instagram at all. So this, I guess, would vaguely look like some kind of firearm. It's bright pink. It's got the weird stock on the end of it. It's got the muzzle that's obviously bright orange. I mean, clearly it's a threat to all of mankind. I don't know. Maybe it was the magazine that got it hit. Maybe if I had the pink magazine to go with it, it would have been fine. But yeah, they flagged it for firearm content, which I don't understand why that's a thing. Why is that even remotely a thing? Can anybody describe to me why it would be illegal for you to post a picture of a firearm on Instagram? Why? I don't understand it. I don't understand Facebook in this regard, or Meta, or whatever they want to call themselves now. But the Seagull was not the blaster that got me, like, initially Like, they didn't send me any notification. I had no clue that for like the last month I have been like shadow banned off Instagram, and I assume Facebook as well. It was the Ranger Series Sniper, which in the picture, the blaster is completely bright colors. It's a bright blue. You can find it on my Instagram. This isn't a ploy to get you to see my Instagram, but if you want to see the picture, it is a bright blue blaster with a large orange muzzle, and there are Mega XL darts in the picture, and YouTube, or not YouTube, as YouTube would do this, and they have. They have. But it was, that was also flagged and got me shadow banned on Instagram. So for like the last month, I've been shadow banned and had no idea. Clearly is a threat to mankind. I've played Nikkei. There are firearm pages though, and I swear I see their posts without following them, so you might be right, Blee. Brickosaurus, Walcom been posting sus blaster pics. Always. James asks, what's the pink gun called? It's called a Seagull, and we will talk about it. How is that a firearm? Mark Zucker crap, you need to unban Walcom S7. I did appeal it. It's been, what, since I posted the picture of the Seagulls? Like 2-3 days? Nothing yet. I may have to delete the posts, which I don't want to do. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. I really don't. Gun Grabber says Ivan's terrific. What is, like, I would understand, like, a veiled threat, right? Like, if you're posting a veiled threat, I'm not going to mimic any, but we all know the one that we're probably thinking of. I would understand that being a thing that would get you not only banned, but had the cops called on you. But to just post a picture of a thing that you don't even know is a firearm, and it gets hit for firearms content, and you instantly get banned. Instantly. That makes no sense to me. Like, even if you're in a country that doesn't like firearms, why, like, why would that make, like, okay, I don't have this firearm, but I post a picture of it. I don't get it. I really don't understand it. It kind of blows my mind. Have you ever heard of Starfield? No, I've never heard of Starfield, ever. I have a firearm page, lost about 1K followers in a couple of months for no reason. This was not updating the entire time. Firearms and kids don't mix. That's fair. Although you could teach kids how to properly handle and respect firearms like we did for literally hundreds of years.
I am the homely. Caught you.
Thanks again for the shirt, homely. Actually, 2 of them. There's 2 of the exact same shirt here. I don't know if you meant to do that, but it's now the official stream shirt. Advertisers don't want to be seen near firearms content. Well, advertisers need to man the heck up. I don't know what to tell them. Because, like, what are they going to do? Like, oh, Coca-Cola doesn't like being near firearms content. Like, hello, what were you doing back in the day? It's just going to be one of those months, I swear. Zuckerberg says something. I don't think he has anything to do with it, to be perfectly honest. I'm excited about Toy Fair. Can you explain why, Brickosaurus? Because, like, what? Like, I don't, like, NERF barely announced anything at, what do you call it? San Diego Comic-Con. So, like, they had a big fair thing. I know, because I got an email inviting me to it. I just didn't want to fly down to San Diego. But they have a whole, like, what are they going to announce? Like, unless you're excited for other things from Toy Fair, but I don't expect any new content to come out of Toy Fair anymore. Yeah, the 2 was an F up, but I'm glad you like it. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was weird that I got 2 of the exact same package back to back. And it showed up, like, right as the wife was getting off work, so she was able to pick it up. But it's cool. I like it. Thank you. I don't know if you made it or you just found it. Trying not to show my belly. I'll also say, who says Instagram is for kids? I know, I can see literally, like, the equivalent of... Actually, not even the equivalent. I can literally see everything I would want to see on Instagram. And it's in the algorithm that feeds it to me. And yet, I can't show a picture of a firearm. And it's not even a firearm, it's a freaking NERF blaster. Like, that doesn't compute. But even if it was a firearm, like, I don't understand it. I would understand showing actual violence, but just showing a thing is completely hypocritical. I ordered a pair of AirPod Pros and the Amazon guy stole it. Well, your first mistake was ordering AirPod Pros. But did you report it? Do you plan on reviewing the Dart Zone Thunderbolt? Kinda. I don't really have an opinion on it. I know I will, but yeah, I really don't have an opinion. They're already turning into Nerf. Dart Zone's already starting down the Nerf path where they're just like, here's the same thing we released last year or the year before, but slightly different. Get excited, which I'm not. Not at all. Nerf equal violence? I mean, technically it could, Proctophile. Technically it could. Well, thank you very much, Homely. They are wonderful. Wacom confirmed Appleist. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're great headphones. I don't know if they're like, what, $500-$600 great? These were pretty expensive for what they are. And maybe the AirPod Pros are better than these in every single way. You would get banned on Insta just for owning a gun and not showing it on camera. Well, guilty as charged. I want to see more of those half-dart Nerf blasters because Strife X. Oh, look, I want to be proven wrong, Ivan, but I have a very, very, very good feeling that this Strife X is going to be probably the only one we'll see. Would you consider modifying the Fortnite Heavy SR into using Elite short darts? No, the Fortnite Heavy SR doesn't have like a bigger plunger tube that requires, you know, that kind of modification. It really doesn't do anything. It's basically just a gigantic Magnus. Well, then if he lied and said he didn't have access to your property, then he should still have the package. So he effed up. It should be very easy for you to, like, if it was never delivered but the package is gone, well, obviously he stole it. Then the next day, another driver delivered an empty bag with a hole ripped in. Then that's even more obvious. Are you going to review the Nerf TMT? No, it's literally the same. I don't get it. Like, so do I need to do a video on everything? Like, this is actually a legitimate question I'm asking because I don't know. As a content creator, I'm lost. I don't. You can tell already that, like, I don't want to do a video on this blaster because it's just the same thing we always get. But at the same time, like, I don't know. Like, I really don't know if it's worth, because in my head, it's like, it's just a sweet revenge. And who's spending the $15, $20 on a sweet revenge? Like, if you want a sweet revenge, sure. But it's just a sweet revenge. There's nothing new. I'm not even a fan of Ninja Turtles, so... and even if I was, even if it was covered in anime girls, I don't know if I'd do the video. Maybe I would. That's kind of where I don't understand. Like, should I be doing a video on literally everything? Even though I don't, like, and that's the problem that I'm getting into as a content creator, where it's like, I don't know if I should be doing videos on everything, even if I don't want to do the video on it. Because I don't care. Like, same thing with the Thunderbolt. It's like, I'm sitting there staring at it. It's like, what does this do that hasn't already been done by other blasters? How am I supposed to be excited for this? I don't know. And it's becoming more and more of a problem where it's like, even with the Seagull here, because I actually really like this blaster, but it is literally a worker Harrier. It's a worker Harrier with about, I don't know, 6 inches, 8 inches taken off the front of it. I mean, shorter stroke, but that's it. Some minor ergonomic changes. And the second you put like a buffer tube stock and stuff on this thing, it stops being different from a Harrier. And that's where it's like I have trouble doing the video, because I can literally do the entire video saying it's a worker Harrier. If you haven't seen a worker Harrier, go watch my original video. But then I could also just go through the motion anyway. I could just do the entire video like I would normally do it, and then just leave my it's a worker Harrier for the end of the video. And that's where I don't know. As a content creator, I'm lost. Would I do the video? Yes. Would I be repeating basically everything I've ever said about the Harrier? Yes. Do I think you should buy the Seagull if you already own a worker Harrier? No. Were you thinking about getting a worker Harrier, or were you tacitly interested in getting a worker Harrier, and you see the Seagull come up for like $80 cheaper and does basically the same thing except for hit 300 FPS? Yeah, you should probably get a Seagull. And that's where it's like I've literally shot this video 5 times and I'm not happy with any of them. I hate every single one of those videos because I just can't bring myself to do the video. And that's becoming more and more of a problem. And then the blasters that I do videos on that I'm really excited about, lately they've done really bad. So like I'm in this place where I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I just don't feel like putting out the content. And it's like the answer is, well, just make more content. Trajan says, is there going to be a pro Gelfire Ghost review? I filmed it. Do I want to put it up? No, because why spend $50 on that when you can spend $50 on the HPG 700, which does the exact same velocity that the, NERF Gelfire Ghost does, but high velocity, or full auto, and 700 round magazine, and it's better in every single way. It's really frustrating. And that's just the prevailing mindset I keep having, and it's killing any of my motivation to do any kind of content. Did Nerf not elitify the Vulcan because they didn't sell well, or was it expensive to make? I'm assuming because it was expensive to make, Vesic. A Harrier Mini. It really is. This is why you need a Unicorn. It's at least a bit different. Yeah, but the Unicorn only hits like 130, 140 FPS. Like, I guess. But at the same time, it's like, I'm so sick of pump action magazine fed springers. How many pump action, that's actually a great question. How many pump action magazine fed springers have I reviewed in the last couple of months? And they're all essentially the same. Let's see. We've got, I did the, I guess it actually hasn't been that many. It just feels like there's been a whole lot. I probably haven't reviewed the ones that I have. But I did what's the best Nerf Springer primary in 2023. The X-Shot Pro Long Shot, which is legitimately a good blaster because it's super cheap and it's a different design than what we normally get. Then you got the Mark IV. Then you got the coat hanger, which I really like the coat hanger. The Harrier. Man, it's only been like 6 months since we got the Harrier. But then also, are any of the ones I've already reviewed not relevant anymore? I don't think so. I didn't even do a dedicated video on the Tryon, despite the fact that I like the worker, or not the worker, the Game Face Tryon. What do you do? Hey, J-Ro. What else would you like to see? I'd just like to see something. I thought this had Slamfire. I could have swore the announcement said it had Slamfire, and it doesn't. So it's literally a worker Harrier. And it's not that it's bad. I really like it. The second you put a buffer tube stock on it, you completely invalidate what this blaster is supposed to be. Man, like I filmed so much on this blaster, and I've been unhappy with every single one of them. Also, I had to remove the return spring out of it, because not only does this make it like super crunchy of a prime, check this out. Like, man. Look how screwed up that barrel was. Really, really weird. Tag. The announcement did say Slamfire, but then corrected by Worker for being a mistranslation. Good to know. I took apart my 6-shooter and for some reason it dropped like 11 FPS. You might have messed up the seal or something on it, or maybe no lubrication. You might have wiped up some of the lubrication. It's not making a good seal at all anymore. Yeah, announcement said Slamfire or quick takedown pins. Yeah, it doesn't have either of those. It's the same thing as a Harrier. As you can see, 2 screws right there, pull the front end off. It's literally a Harrier. That's the thing. It's like, it's hard for me to it's hard for me to get super excited about it, even though I like it. And my recommendation is, like, if you have a Harrier, you have no use for this thing unless you just want to spend the money. For most people, this is going to be better than the Harrier because you don't need 250, 300 FPS. I think this thing could probably hit 250 FPS. It probably already does. But, like, for most people, the 150 FPS out of the box to 200 with the included 2 springs and 2 barrels, I think that's more than good enough. And it's a very nice, smooth prime at, I should point out, is it no longer sealing perfectly? Huh, I lost some of the seal. That's weird. The barrel isn't on tight enough or something. Forgot what I was even talking about. Like, I've had such a nightmare trying to film this video. It's basically the same thing. It takes the same plunger rod. It takes the same catch, same trigger. I put the bearing pull down on this one from my Harrier. I put it in this one, and that did make it ridiculously smooth. But I just, like, I feel like this is completely, like, this is either going to cannibalize all your Harrier sales or be completely redundant because the Harrier's already a thing. I don't think anybody really needs to own both unless you just have the money to spend. So I don't know. I'm struggling to make a video on it, even though I like it. I really do like it. How's the Jolt collection coming? I'm missing a couple now. The last Jolts I remember grabbing were the Fortnite Boom, the Llama, and the Doggo. I haven't gotten any since then. I haven't seen any. Usually when I see them, I pick them up, and I haven't seen them. Blaster you forgot existed, Cam ECS12. I did a video on that recently. Why do I make YouTube videos? Because I like NERF. I guess is the reason. I'm passionate about it, but ever since, and this has been a problem I think even Coop talked about, it's like, ever since the dawn of getting high velocity blasters off a store shelf and NERF refusing to answer that call and just basically go all in. It's like, here's like 1 or 2 really crappy Elite 2.0 releases, and here's all the Minecraft, here's all the Fortnite, here's all the Roblox, and they're all the same blasters. They're all blasters we've seen for the last decade, just in a different shape, with almost nothing new or innovative about them. And every single one of those blasters, it feels like they could have done a better job. And they didn't, because they don't care. Because they can literally put out a block and put Fortnite logo on it, and for some reason, apparently kids buy it. I don't know. And ever since then, it's become harder and harder. Because why would you spend $70 on some Fortnite sniper rifle when you could spend $30 and get a much better blaster in every single possible way from a different company? But then it's not like those companies put out dozens of releases a year. They put out like 1 or 2. And it's becoming more and more frustrating where it's like, I don't know how I feel. Like, it's hard for me to get excited about stuff coming out anymore because we rarely see anything new or interesting. Do they sell pink Talon Mags? Yes. I have a pink Talon Mag. This is not dyed, this is pink. I recently minimized the shell strike and attached a sling fire stock to it, basically a ghetto sledge fire. And I love the sledge fire. I guess I should use the one that's in my chat on Streamlabs and the chat that I have over here are like they differ, and I don't know why. The hobby is nothing new now. That's like what it feels like. It's not like the Seagull is a bad blaster by any means. It's not like I don't like it. I like it a lot, but it's the same thing. And it's like, that's why the X-Shot long shot was such a breath of fresh air, because at least it was a bullpup with like internals we've never seen really before. and it was at a very cheap price, and there was like, I honestly expected it to be kind of garbage, and it turned out to be freaking amazing. NERF has the opportunity to create a new identity in the field. They could try to chase the DCP and its children, or they could focus on blasters that are good for shenanigans. I chose a Hyper Mach 100 and Ultra selected my birthday gifts. I think I chose good. What do you think? I like both those blasters. I really do. Mach 100 has some issues, but the Ultra Select is one of my favorite blasters NERF has ever done, and it has problems that could be fixed, like they making another version of the blast, and they don't. But it's like the same thing as like, I really like the Double Punch. I think the Double Punch is legitimately one of the best things NERF has ever made. But the problem is like, it's virtually impossible to mod. So it's only going to be really all that useful for stock games that really nobody is playing anymore. And it's like, even if you are like, okay, well, here's a 130 FPS or 150 FPS, you could still use the Double Punch and you'd still probably have some fun with it. But I think like 150, I kind of wish was like the bare minimum, or 130 or something, with some amount of room to grow. That was the other thing, is like, back in the day, NERF had so many blasters come out that we bought and modified and loved because we could modify them. And it seems like every single thing NERF puts out now, they do something to make it pretty much non-moddable. And it, like, you could make the argument that they're not doing it on purpose, because why the heck would they want to? Why would they care about us? But then that's exactly what the NERF Strife X is. So I also would assume it takes more effort for them to make tapered plunger tubes and slotted plunger tubes and all these other workarounds they do to make blasters feel like garbage than it is to just put out stuff that could be easily modified. The last thing I remember that was like really good for modification from NERF was the Chronos. What is there to be new? We kind of have everything. There's still like, make a better pump action magazine, or like a pump action shotgun. Make a better break action shotgun. There's just in shotguns, there's too many things that I want that I don't have. Ultra is dead now. Admiral, I think that's right. I don't think they put out anything new this year at all. Ultra seems dead. They were a couple of Hyper Blasters, but that also seems dead. Then again, what has NERF really put out this year? I feel like NERF hasn't put out a whole lot in 2023. It certainly feels like they haven't. There's like blasters on here I haven't even seen. Actually, I guess there is a lot, because there's like the whole Dungeons and Dragons line, but they all suck. Fortnite, Dual Pack, Micro Grappler. That's one I would actually probably get. I don't know why I don't have that yet. The Blue Shock, the Insightful, those are the same blaster. Marvel, Star-Lord Quad Blaster. I haven't even seen that. I legitimately didn't know that was a thing. Oh, there's a Cave Spider Micro Shot. There's a Chicken Micro Shot. The Ender Dragon from Minecraft that I refused to buy. The Heart Stealer. I bought one of those back in like the beginning of the year and never did the video on it. I mean, I shot the video, I opened up the blaster on camera, but never put out the video. The Roblox, we got the Soul Catalyst, the Space Lock Ray, the Synchro Shot, more things that I don't have. But they're nothing I've said so far is exciting or new. They're all the same thing. Like, it's just a bunch of jolts or redesigns of blasters we already have. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles blaster. It's a Sweet Revenge. The Optimus Prime 2-in-1 Transformer thing. Jolt. It's still a Jolt, but it transforms. Vaguely. The combo pack for the Dino Squads. They literally just put out more Dino. Oh, there's a Dino Squad Jolt. Cool. That's only in a combo pack. Cool. Elite 2.0, we got the Contender. It's a pump action revolver thing I haven't ever seen. The Double Punch is good. Then the Egg Hunt, and there's a Holiday blast or micro shot coming. The Slash, which is a Jolt, haven't seen it. The Sly Shot, which looks to be a remix of the. Actually, it looks very similar to the. What is that thing I have like 30 of? I'm trying to remember the name of that blaster. I just got water all over the tables. What is that thing that I have? Like Snapfire. Thank you. Thank you very much, Gecko Wizard. What else? We got the Trio Combo Pack. The Wild Edition. We got the Storm Charge, which is a pretty cool little blaster, but is it going to be super popular? Probably not, because it doesn't have the modification potential that a Strife has. Elite Junior, I bought all of those. Never did the video. Gelfire has some cool things, but I think the prices are too high and the velocity is too low compared to what you can get from other stuff. But I think I've talked about it before, where it's like, I actually do like the current version of Gelfire just because they all seem to be balanced against each other. Like, they all have their uses. If you were to do just a Nerf Gelfire war, and you had every single blaster, with the exception of the Legion, I think you'd have a lot of fun, because they all have their own niches. Rival, we got the Pilot, which I like the Pilot. We got the Forerunner, which there's nothing wrong with it, but it's also nothing new. I think the Pilot is definitely, again, one of the best blasters Hasbro has made in a while. There's so many cool things you could do with the Pilot, and it's really high quality and cheap. And that's the thing, that's the problem here, is that the Pilot is super nice. Multiple textures on the plastic, multiple pieces of plastic, unique gimmick, powerful, really nice blaster. And it's one of the cheapest things they sell. That's the problem with Nerf. Because if you were to compare the Pilot to the Forerunner, they're basically the same velocity. The Forerunner you could, I guess, load multiple shots into and pump action, slam fire, and all that kind of stuff. But you can use the Pilot and you could be just as effective.
I went to my Walmart and there were more Adventure Force start packs than Nerf blasters, rolling on the floor laughing.
I've noticed that too. I've noticed that the Nerf stuff is getting smaller and smaller and smaller every single time I go to Walmart. Zuru's going crazy that year. We'll get to that. The Spin Shot, I haven't seen that on store shelves. From what I think I was told is that the Spin Shot from Busby is sold on the outdoor toy section, not the blaster section. I didn't really care all that much to get it. It looks kind of fun. Easy Fire Rifle, which is, that's a good one. It's not like something I'd say everybody has to go out and buy, but if you like the idea of the Easy Fire Rifle, it's definitely a serviceable thing. The Mark IV, it's basically a Worker Swift, and I don't remember if that's a year after or 2 years after the Worker Swift, but it's not a bad blaster by any means, although it has some questionable design decisions that definitely need to be iterated on. It's hard, because like, it is good, but it has so many issues. Then you get down to like Worker, they did the Harrier, they did the Seagull, and then you get to the X-Shot stuff. It's like the Berserko. Well, it's basically a better version of the Eagle Point. The Mad Mega Barrel? Yeah, it's just a pump action slamfire thing, but it's got a ridiculously huge drum on it that holds like tons of darts. You've got the Manic, which is just a front loader pistol, but whatever. You got the Motorized Ragefire, which is just a belt-fed, you know, full auto minigun for like 45, 50 bucks. But you get all that for 45 or 50 bucks, which is quite a bit. Plus you can combine all of them together. Man, the Insanity stuff, like, it's not high velocity or anything like that, but they're at good prices. You'd want to get all of them, and you could build them into a freaking monstrosity that, while it doesn't do anything unique or different, it's fun. And then on top of that, if they came out with 4 new Insanity blasters that you could mix things up with next year, that would be even good. My problem with the X-Shot is I'm really worried this is like, they're going to do this, and that's going to be that for like the next 2-3 years. We got the Lock Blaster. We got the Long Shot from them. Those are really good. And then, of course, all the Hyper Gel stuff. 3 more blasters there that are all pretty competent in what they do. Like, X-Shot put out a lot of interesting things this year. Nerf still has the Star Trek blasters that nobody cares about. The Fishbones blaster, which I don't think anybody cares about. We got the Fortnite Primal, which looks kind of interesting, but it's 20 bucks for a 4-shot front loader. Storm Scout, which is exactly identical to the BASRL. the lock and load pack, which is a Shadow ICS with a, yeah, the Strife X. That's interesting, but it's not exactly entirely new. Strife X, I still think is too expensive for what it is, and I don't know if anybody's ever going to be able to convince me otherwise on that. Outlaw from Dart Zone, I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I know some people will be. The Omnia Pro has a lot of potential, but it was not working when it came out. And they really, really, really have to fix it. And if they don't fix it good enough, there's going to be some issues. And then the Thunderbolt, which is basically identical to the Spectrum. Like, I actually don't know what the differences are between the two blasters off the top of my head. I really don't. And then what? We got the babysitter bat, whatever blaster from them. Looks interesting, is really expensive. I think it's like $20 for a single shot. And then they got like the thingy that they just showed off. I don't watch Stranger Things. I should know the name of the monster thing. That is just another front-loading revolver thing. Demogorgon, thank you. I mean, there's thoughts to be said that they should reuse and remake blasters, simply because some stuff becomes harder and harder to get as time goes on. But I always think they should iterate upon them to make them better, and oftentimes that's not what's being done. What would be cool is the monorail with shells and a bottom breech loading system. That'd be awesome. Doesn't even need the shells. I swear recently I saw a thing where somebody made something that just takes short darts, doesn't need shells, and it loads them perfectly. Big W, how much did your chronograph cost? I'm trying to do Nerf vids, but I can't find a good working chronograph, and I have to rely on your FPS readings or other people online, and I'd like to have one. The one specifically I have was only like $70. But I think you can get a cheaper X-Core-Tech that doesn't have the detachable wireless screen for like $45, $50. Like, if I go on Amazon right now, just type in chronograph. You get the Caldwell Ballistic one, which I don't recommend. Blee has got the Caldwell G2 Ballistic. How do you feel about that one, Blee? Because I actually really liked your chronograph. Like, I saw that and was like, crap, that's the one I just need to get, huh? You got the Magneto. Oh, I've seen one of those in real life. Those things that look like futuristic bayonets. Here's a high-precision ballistic chronograph airsoft bullet shooting. It's $30. It looks somewhat serviceable. It might be hard to use with Nerf. I'm not sure. Here's Action Union airsoft chronograph. It looks pretty generic. That's $54. ISIS airsoft chronograph. $60. Yeah, this premium precision ballistic chronograph thing I'm looking at, that looks somewhat serviceable. It even looks like it has a clamp that you can clamp it on a barrel if you want to. Not good, huh? It's a shame. And for $200, you'd expect more. But the one I got, the X-Core-Tech one I have is like, it was like 70, 80. I'd kind of want to get, ooh, there's a mini X-Core-Tech pocket one for $70. That's pretty cute. I like that. It's tiny. I'd like to get, like, does anybody know if, like, one of those, like, I don't know, the ones where you just touch it to the barrel and it can somehow measure the velocity? Acoustic chronographs, I think is what they're called. I'd want to get one of those in the future. Walcom, have you heard about the new rival target leaks? No, I don't think I have Hyperpink. I wonder if the Magneto speed ones, I've seen those. I wonder if those work for, like, Nerf. Like, I really do. mean, you can still find my channel, my Instagram thing if you go look at it. But yeah, it's currently like shadow banned. I bought my 3D printed Chrono off Etsy. I think that's the Saturnus. I don't have one. I'm sure it's okay. They should make magnetic Nerf darts. Somebody else tried that at one point. All I know is there as a Nerf chronograph. Yeah, the Chrono Barrel, it's... Showing ass is all right. Yeah, I know, right? But Nerf guns, crossing the line, man. Yeah, like, you could post all kinds of depraved stuff, but if you post a foam dart blaster on Instagram, that might be a firearm, and that's not okay. But show your holes on Instagram. That's perfectly acceptable. It was the, I thought it was the Seagull, because I didn't notice it until I looked at my Seagull post. I'm like, wow, that kind of underperformed compared to what I was expecting. And then I saw a notification, like, if you click on, like, settings, there was a 2, and I clicked on it. It's like, oh, you've been shadow banned off Instagram. I'm like, oh, wow, when did that happen? I looked it up, and it's like, oh, when I posted the picture of the Ranger series sniper, the Mega XL one with the foam darts and the bright colors, yeah, they said that was a firearm. It goes against their firearm content policy. We're in trouble. This is going to be harder and harder going forth, and I think this is something that people should absolutely rally against. It blows my mind that content creators that show, like, firearms and they respect them and they do it safely and everything like that on YouTube are punished. But I can go on, like, TikTok and see people doing insane stuff with guns, and it's totally okay. What imagine what they'll do when they see my CNC Viper? I know, right? I tried shooting a Trion through and it was giving me readings of 400 FPS. See, I was having issues with the, I can't tell if it was actually my fault or if it was the blaster, but my Seagull, just like with my Harrier had problems too. If you remember, I stopped. In that video, I couldn't do the Harrier stuff. I skipped it almost. I'm getting like really inconsistent velocities, like 150 FPS to 250 FPS. Sorry. Allergies. I mean, the Chrono Barrel does it can kind of give you an idea. So if you're using short darts with the Chrono Barrel, it's not an accurate measurement because it's going to be off by like anywhere from 15 to 30 FPS. But if you shoot a half dart through a Chrono Barrel, you could realistically have the FPS and get an idea of where your blaster is hitting. For $15, it's fine. Maybe you should do a video to poop on Amazon blasters. I really don't, because they're also very derivative. How do you know it's an Instagram problem and not people reporting me? It could be people reporting me. I would believe that people are that sad and pathetic. Funny enough, I really don't care because I barely post on Instagram anyway, because I don't really care for the attention that much, to be honest. Usually it's just a tool for the channel. So for me to get banned, it's like, whatever. It's going to be funny to mention on a stream and I'll appeal it. But I was already like, do I want to just delete those posts to get my Instagram back in good standings? No, because probably everything I upload now, I could show an actual like Nerf Strife and they'd be like, that's a firearm, banned. And I don't want to deal with it. If Instagram doesn't want me there because I'm not a, woman that's pretty, then that's fine. Whatever. I'm not going to fight it. I got your Kieran, came in the mail last night. It looks really nice. Silver Squids, did yours have the sticker already applied? It's another video I tried to film all week and could not get anything I was happy about. So it just came with a sticker on the side. The individual number? Like, what number did you get? You got a point, Blee. You got a point. It should have come with a decal on the blaster or with the blaster that's individually numbered. So you got a blaster that isn't individually numbered? Because if that's the case, I have more problems. If anybody's been following the saga of this thing, that's one of the reasons why this video is so hard for me to do. Because, like, everything that was, like, shown off to me, like, this is what we're doing with your blaster, are you happy? And I say yes. They came, like, every single thing was walked back and never talked to me about. And, like, so, like, I don't make any money off the sale of these blasters. Whatever my cut was supposed to be was supposed to go to charity. I don't know if that's happening because there's, like, 4 different distributors for the blaster. What do I do? You know what I mean? Then on top of that, with the, somebody else bought one from, I think it was like Blaster Tech. And the individual number sticker was just included in the box. It wasn't already attached to the blaster. When I got mine, the individual numbered sticker was on the blaster already. There's 2 of them. There's 1 for each side. If they don't have it attached to the blaster, theoretically, I don't think that's a big deal loss. It's hard for me to say. I don't know. I don't feel like it's that big of a deal to me personally. But the problem is that then it's supposed to be limited to 300 units. So if they make more of them in the future, there's no way for you to know. I mean, theoretically, they could just reprint all the stickers again, but it's a problem. So I am interested to see, like, you better have gotten a sticker, period, Silver Squid. Maybe, like, tag me in the Discord or something when you get home and let me know. Send me some pictures if you can. Just, like, post them in the Discord. Because, like, it's making it very difficult to be excited about this when I'm, like, super terrified that this is... Because this has my name and stuff attached to it, and it's completely out of my hands. And it doesn't feel good. Does that mean you're short for a YouTuber or that you have a small audience? Have you seen Dartzone's video on the Dart Bat? Yes, that was a leak from like 3 or 4 months ago that is finally confirmed to be a real thing. Unpopular opinion, but bans go against these social media's goals of expression. Kind of makes you wonder. I mean, I would understand if you're making a blatant threat, but if you're just posting a picture of a thing, especially when it's like, again, you could post yourself, like, women post themselves wearing basically nothing and flaunt it all over Instagram and get millions and millions of views, and they're totally fine with that. I mean, not that guys don't do it too. They really do, but as a guy, it's harder for me to imagine that. Anyway, because I am obviously not exposed to it enough. That being said, why the heck would you get banned for, like, posting a picture of a thing? Like, if I post a kitchen knife, are they gonna... No, they're not gonna ban me for that. Will they? But you kind of get the problem here. It's like, if you want to have everything be PG, and that's your platform goal, that's fine. But it's like, it's really weird because in America in general, like, the social construct has been for years that, like, sexual content is so much worse than violence it isn't funny. That's been like that problem for, when in other countries it's the exact opposite, where it's like nudity and stuff is considered absolutely normal, but any kind of violence is abhorrent. And for some reason in America that was flipped. And now it's going the other way, but they're trying to, like, have both but have neither. I don't get it. It's really weird. It's hard to deal with. It's hard to imagine. Walker, what do you expect a new Nerf gun in 2024? I don't expect anything. I expect more Minecraft, Fortnite, Roblox, and maybe some other very small collaborations that are just reshells of blasters we already have. Shellington told me it might not have a number. That's the entire point of the blaster. How am I supposed to do a video when every single time somebody posts like, tells me about, hey, I bought your blaster, it didn't come with this, and I have nothing I can say or do about it because I have absolutely no input. All I'm learning is, like, I gotta stop working with, like, Monkey Mods did it perfectly. I don't know. What do you mean Shellington said it might not have a number? I actually remember going to the Shellington Blasters. It's like the only thing it apparently comes with is like stickers and the keychains, and they're charging an extra $40. And I was like, what the heck? It's supposed to come with a bunch of stuff. Like, I don't understand it. It's really frustrating. I did not come up with the idea of the limited number. That was something that Phantom Tech did. So he showed me a picture, is like with the 1 out of 300, and he's like, yeah, we're doing this. And I'm like, oh my god, dude, that is so cool. I was so excited. When I got mine, it was like, dude, this looks like a sticker. He's like, no, it's the same thing that Monkey Mods did. Well, Monkey Mods literally is like, you can't scrape that thing off. It's raised plastic, like it's embedded on the blaster. Like it's printed. I don't even know how to explain it, but like you can't, you'd have to like sand the whole thing off because it's actually part of the blaster. This was literally a sticker. And then he's like, I have confirmed that they're UV stickers. And I'm looking at it, it's not like super not durable sticker, like a paper sticker. Like it looks pretty good, but it was a sticker. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, that's fine. And then somebody else, like, I didn't even know Blaster Tech was selling them. Somebody else was like, I got your blaster, I really like it. And they sent me a picture of it, and the individual number sticker wasn't on the blaster. And I'm like, so wait a second, now the sticker's not even on the blaster? So the sample you sent me is completely bogus because it's not a representative of the final product? And now it doesn't come with the sticker. They said they weren't sure. They did give 20 extra shells for free. And I don't think that's Shellington's fault. I think it's Phantom Tech's. Like, I'm really... Every single thing about this is, like, really frustrating. Really, really frustrating. Because it's like, I don't even know what to say in a video. Because everybody's getting different things. Should I use a Nerf rifle Persis with a hopper extension or a Nexus Pro and a Nerf WZR? They're completely different blasters for completely different things, Christos. That's like, should you use a pistol or a rifle? They're completely different things. Like, that's incredibly frustrating. It's just frustrating. Do that. Say what you feel about what is happening. Be transparent about it. I guess. I don't know. It's like, I don't want to trash the own thing that I like gave my brand. I don't want to trash it. I just want to complain. I just want to make my frustrations known. But that isn't fair to the people who bought like units and need to sell them. You know what I mean? Like, that's the biggest problem, is that like, it's not like Shellington. Like, when I talked to Shellington about this months ago, he had no idea it was even happening. And that was like the weird, like, what the heck is going on? Because like the whole point was, I thought you were going to be the one selling them. He's like, oh, I bought like 14 of them. And like, there's 300. Where are the other 86? He's like, oh, I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. Like, the whole point was that you were supposed to get this shipment. I was going to do a video. You'd hopefully sell out of everything. All of the proceeds that would go to me would just go to a charity, like St. Jude's Children's Hospital, Child's Play, or something good. Like, I don't need the money. And everything was supposed to be awesome. It was supposed to be a good thing to do a bunch of good work, and people get a limited edition thing. That wasn't my idea. Like, the Monkey Mods was a limited to 300 blasters, and it wasn't individually numbered. I still think it's really freaking cool. I don't know. I really don't. And I didn't really accept the money from Monkey Mods either. I basically just said, hey, when I want a blaster, send it to me. And Monkey Mods hasn't sent me anything since like October. And it was just more magazine stuff for the Firefly. I asked for quick edges, and they would never send me the quick edge. So I think the only things I've got from Monkey Mods from the money that I would have made from Monkey Mods was I got a quick Challenger 3 from them. They didn't have any extra magazines. I asked for extra magazines, never got them. So I could never actually use the blaster for anything. And then the, what do you call it? The Colonel Wasp Firefly. which I bought and did a video on. Okay, I have 2 Percys. Percys are nice. If NERF wants to re-release old blasters, could they update them to halflings? I'd definitely buy a halfling Maverick on barrel break. That would be awesome. I think they should do that. Will they? No, because freaking NERF, man. That's part of why I didn't order that, and I'm still waiting for my Scylla Arc kit from prior to the Kieran. I don't know what that is. Do you still have dreams of having a museum? Yes. That's why I collect so many things in boxes and try to keep everything. And I don't actually want brand new in-box stuff. I want complete in-box stuff. I want things that are complete in-box that I can open up. And it's hard because it's like, I don't want to buy brand new in-box stuff and open it, even though I've done that on the channel previously. But yeah, I would like to have like all of the blasters complete in-box, like opened up, able to be used and everything like that, but put back. Ideally, my fantastic collection would have 1 blaster out of box completely ready, 1 blaster complete in box. In the case of like something like the crossbow, the 1995 crossbow, once you put that thing together, you can't really take everything apart. It really doesn't seem like those, once those things snap in, it's going to be really difficult to take it apart. And then there's the like just 1 brand new unopened. What build do you think doesn't get enough credit? That's certain. There's 1 blaster that I talked about last that I really wanted to do. I just bought printer food. I can hopefully blaster made. I bought printer food. I really want the alternator done. And now that I have enough filament that I'm happy with it, I'm going to just start printing that thing out. Hopefully I can get that together. Should I get a NERF Scavenger? I mean, it's an okay blaster if you're paying 20, 30 bucks for a complete one. It's okay. I wasn't a big fan of the Scavenger. Ads midstream. Hey, guess what? I can't control those anymore. I'm sure you realize that was a big thing like everywhere. It's like YouTube's like, yep, you can't control your own ads. Slingfire is more fun, but I don't have... I do think the Slingfire is a better looking and feeling blaster. I never liked the Scavenger, but I do like the Scavenger Jolt. It's the best Jolt, like by far. It fires 2 darts and it's barely larger than an actual Jolt. Plus it just looks cool and feels good. Whatever happened to the disc shot? They made a remake of the disc shot. I never got one. I don't think I had money at the time, and I haven't seen it since then. Actually, I want to Google to see if that's unobtainium. But I have a disc shot that I wanted to turn. It's literally 16 bucks on Amazon right now. Why is it so cheap? Huh. That's really cheap. 16 bucks. It just doesn't have the remote feature, right? Huh. I feel like the Slingfire needs a longer barrel to look cool. I agree. I have quite a few of them myself, Tag. Qualcomm, will NERF release Team Fortress 2 NERF Blasters? No, because Team
Here's
Fortress
more
2
money
is
for
like
future
18
shenanigans,
years old.
not for YouTube Premium. Haha.
Thank you very much, Rahid, for the $5 tip. For future shenanigans. I roll it into the printer food fund. Have you seen the Corsair by Lidl Designs? Yes, I literally have the whole blaster. Now, I was going to do a video on it, but I don't know if I'm going to do a video on it. There's the barrel. Here's the grip. Here's the grip infill piece. Here's one of the triggers, I think. That's the trigger. Have all the pieces to it. Here's one of the pins. I wasn't really thinking too hard. Yeah, it's funny. I think the entire thing can go together without a single piece of hardware besides the rubber. Tiny pin. I think that's a piece to it. It's, one of the muzzle pieces. And that might be every part of it. Oh, here's like the tension piece, I think. Is that broken? Can't tell. Here's another piece. I think I have all the pieces. The only thing I don't have, I mean, that's actually cool how compact that is. I might actually have bands somewhere. I just don't know if I have the bands the creator wants. I don't know. I was just printing with random pieces. I thought that looked pretty interesting. Yeah, I could put this together, like, right now. But it's literally a rubber band one that you can flick, put a dart in, fire. And I thought that was cool. Removing the supports out of this was a pain. So, I wonder, I think I have all of the parts I would need. I might print out this front piece again because it looks like support didn't stick on part. I printed it in the wrong orientation. The other thing I want to do is, like, I should be able to, like, stream my printer. I want to just have, like, my printer in the corner showing what I'm printing. But, like, I can't figure out, it's like, it's really obtuse to get that to work. But, yeah, I do have the stuff for it. Oh, and I printed out the triggers and stuff, and this, I mean, besides the fact it's only going to hit, like, 70 FPS, it's just really fun. It looks cool. I was going to do a video on it. I just don't know how that... I was going to do it, like, from the guise of, like, here's a really easy 3D printed blaster. Because, like, besides the fact that you need, like, a band for it, there's no... all the hardware is pins. There's no screws or anything like that. So, and look how cool that looks. I don't remember how much filament is. Something that we can actually, like, calculate. One second. We'll just do that. I think that'll work. What, Mike? Mike's broken? I mean, it's literally glowing. All right, so make sure I can find the Corsair stuff. That's literally right there. So in terms of like printing this was actually really like enjoyable. So I actually have a great idea to show you exactly why I absolutely hate like almost every single 3D printed everything. Let's see if I can find random new folder or no, that's stuff. Ah, here it is. This is the actual, this is my hell, okay? This is the stuff that I cannot deal with when it comes to like 3D printed stuff. This is not working. It's not working at all. Why is this not working? Why is this not working? What just went away? Like it just broke. There we go. Why can't I show the window for the hippogriff? Try something else. This is important. I really want to, like, I might just be, I'm too stupid. And that's fair. There's nothing on this that is bad. Trust me. Not that kind of person. Can't I show? Because I have, like, I don't even know where that's like my... It's like not even a window that's open. Wow, that is frustrating. Okay. So, this is what it looks like when you want to, like, 3D print a blaster, right? Like, am I the only one that looks at that and is immediately turned off of doing anything? I cannot be the only person that sees a folder of 1 million parts, most of them redundant, and it's just like, I want nothing to do with this. Because even if I, like, let's say I, like, okay, the butt, but that's funny. We'll do the butt. And it's like, okay, that's a butt stock. Fair enough. But it's like, what is... foregrip no power versus foregrip... Okay, they're completely different pieces. Gear 1, Gear 2, left cage, right cage. Like, it gets into a point, like, how am I have to, like, build the blaster how I think it goes together in this to try to figure out what the, like, it's so insane. How does anybody get anything with this done? It's actually maddening. I realize it has, like, there we go. That's why it looked weird. How does anybody get anything done? Because you basically just have to, like, put together the blaster outside of the print bed and then try to, like, figure out where things go. I go back to this, it's like battery tray. Like, where exactly does that go? I have to reference a picture. And it's like, right grip. Okay, what is that? I guess that's the cover for the grip right there. Right magwell. It's like, okay, that's the right hand magwell, fair enough. Right side rail, right wire run, stock center. And it's like, it's not impossible, but it's just really taxing. And like trying to figure out exactly what all this stuff is and what it does and how it fits together is super frustrating. Like, it's actually maddening. I cannot be the only person that sees, you know, 1,000 files in here and just goes, oh yeah, I don't want to build that anymore. And I wish it wasn't like that. I really do, because it's extremely frustrating. So, but with the, that's why it's like, I would never recommend anybody try to build the alternator. And I've printed a couple of pieces off of this, but I had them in the wrong orientation and they don't look that good. So I'm going to need to go back and redo it. But let's say I wanted to do something very simple like the Corsair. Well, the Corsair is very, very easy. And that's what makes the Corsair one of the best things I've seen. Because really the only hardware you need is rubber, not a rubber band, but like an elastic band, like a bungee cable or something like that. It's, I don't know, it's still like a dozen parts. Load these files as a single, no. So it's like there's, I'm sure some of these are even, can I fit all of those on one print bait? Oh my god, I can fit the entire thing. That's kind of neat. Boom. There's everything. I don't have this barrel. Elite barrel insert. So I literally didn't print out the barrel. But there's every single piece in one build plate on like not even a big build plate. So like it's very easy. All the pins are how it goes, like it fits itself together. As you can kind of see right here. And it's a break action. Yeah, I should just, I have some rubber bands that not rubber bands, but some bungee cord that I bought a long time ago for upgrading the Crossfire. And I'm pretty sure I still have it. I'll have to look. If not, I'm sure I can find a bungee cable or something. But that's a really good first project when all you need is one tool. So I think the idea there is I could at least do like your first blaster build or something. But I might actually like print out a whole new one. But let's see. Muzzle pin is too close to others. There may be collision jump. Oh. There. Brake action lever is too. Put it over here. You're the one who organized all this. I don't know why you're coming after me. No. So if I were to like just basic settings right now, how much filament is? Oh, I might have to toggle supports. I might. It definitely doesn't have any supports. Hold on. We gotta enable support. Because I'm sure some of this is gonna need support somewhere. So that's about a quarter of a roll of filament. On the bamboo, it would take 9 hours to print out literally everything. So, yeah, like, for those of you, this is it. Like, so, I don't really think we talk about 3D printers enough on the channel. It's one of the things that, as time goes on more and more, I'm kind of starting to get into the mindset that if you're interested, like, at all in buying, like, the pretty expensive blasters, like 3D printed ones, if I can run a 3D printer, I'm willing to bet you can, right? I am not a special person. I am not particularly smart nor talented, obviously. And, like, granted, this is a Bamboo Labs X1 carbon, so it's not as foolproof as it can get. But this system is pretty much the same for all 3D printers, just with a little more manual work and, you know, making stuff fit on a print bed and moving it and all that kind of stuff. But the Corsair here, which I think was like $8 for all the files, is like really easy to print and build. And this is not a particularly large build plate. It's like 252, I think, by 252 millimeters. No, this is the X1 carbon, but they're the same build plates and stuff like that. So yeah, I can fit this entire thing on one build plate, and it costs a quarter of a roll filament, which is like $7-8. Obviously, you'd want to print in multiple colors, which is like this. And for that, you just have, I mean, the bamboo stuff here is really interesting because you can just add another build plate. It's kind of cool, actually. So you can set your entire project up. It's not something I've played with yet, but there's like a way for me to just add another plate. I've done it once on accident. Oh, add plate. So now I want to print out that and that. Let's say I wanted to print them in like different colors. Should be doing. This is another one of those instances where you aren't synced with my. Aha. I don't think it finds my printer right. Oh no, you do. See the inside. Hold on. Come on. Do the thing. Come on. You can do it. Or maybe it doesn't see my printer. It's still connecting. Oh, that's another problem this printer has. But I can change what filament I'm using. So I can remember how to freaking do it. I actually don't remember how to do it off the top of my head. I've only had this printer for a little bit. There's a way for me to like change it to be different kinds of filament. So I can color it because you can see like it has my filament in here. That's what I have loaded in the AMS. So there's ways to like change that. To make it really easy, where it's like I just have every part I need in every specific color on one plate. That's like, I'm just tired of dealing with printers, and this is a very easy way of doing it. Do you have a recommended beginner printer? If you live near a Micro Center, I think you can get an Ender 3 V2 for like $100 with a coupon from Micro Center. If they have it in like stock. If not, man, I would just Google it. It kind of depends on how much work you want to do. The more money you spend, the easier it is. So for a beginner, it's usually worth, unless you are willing to learn, it's usually worth spending more money to get something that's easier to use. I started with like a CR10 and it was fine, but I have to manually level it, and leveling is like 9/10 of the entire print. If it's not level, you're going to run into issues. But yeah, you can, most printers, like you can probably Google best first 3D printer. I bet you the P1P is going to come up more often than not, but it's a $600 printer, so that might not be for you. So can we expect a video on the future lessons with a recommendation? So I already filmed that video. So I went to Goodwill and I found a 3D printer, and I did an entire video, or at least I filmed it, where I bought the power supply, got the printer working, did a test print, and then started printing a Jolt add-on kit using that printer to kind of explain like how 3D printing works. And it was a printer that I wasn't familiar with, and I literally just went on Google. Like, it required its own slicer because I think it was a FlashForge, and I just Googled FlashForge whatever, Cura settings, got a profile, slammed it into Cura, just cut it, printed it. Like, I filmed all of this. Never made a video. I'm really, really, really bad about doing that. I'm so bad about doing that. It's a curse. But maybe I should do, this is a nice little beginner 3D printed project, because it looks like it'll be fun, and it looks like it's very simple and easy. And I want to try to encourage more and more people to maybe just look into getting a 3D printer, because like they really aren't that hard. And as long as, like, whatever printer you buy, like if you buy an Ender 3 or whatever an Ender 3 costs right now. Let's go to Amazon and always doesn't work. So like a basic Ender 3 right now off Amazon that has, I think, just about the same print bed as the one you're looking at right now, $169. And whatever you want to do with an Ender 3, like there's gonna be multiple and multiple and multiple. It's a little bit smaller than this. It's a 220 by 220 by 250. But whatever you want to do with an Ender 3, you can do. Like, there's so much. Do you have to manually level it? Yes. Is there going to be hours of YouTube videos explaining how to do that? Yes. Like, and it's usually just put a piece of paper, home the nozzle in, and you just want to, you can raise and lower the bed using big screw things on the bottom of it, and you just want to get it to where the nozzle is just barely catching a standard piece of paper. Because there has to be space, obviously, for it to extrude the plastic, but you want the plastic, when it's extruded, to get squished down onto the bed. So it's like, there is a science to it, and after a while, you'll just get stupidly good at, like, looking at the thing and going, oh, that's too close, that's too far from the bed, and you can literally, because, like, most prints are going to do what's called a skirt before it actually does anything, so when it's laying down the initial things of the skirt, you can, like, twist the knobs as it's doing it and get it to the right. I do that all the time, and it's worked fine for me for years. But yeah, $160 for an Ender 3. If you live near a Micro Center, apparently they have a coupon. They've had a coupon for a long time where you could get an Ender 3 V2 for $100, which is a better printer. An Ender 3 V2 is $213. Would you spend the extra money to get the Ender 3 V2 over the Ender 3? Yes. Holy crap, yes, just get an Ender 3 V2. Why would you ever get an Ender 3 unless you really can't afford the extra $50? That's a much better printer. It's still a beginner printer. You still have to manually level it and stuff, but it's got a touch screen color and all that, or not touch screen, but it's got a full screen. It's got various little upgrades everywhere. And they're just, they work. And I just think, like, instead of buying, like, everyone's like, should I buy a $300, $400 printer or blaster? It's like, you could buy a printer and probably do it yourself and do a lot more. But the thing is, like, it's hard to say if that's, not everybody has space to put out a printer. You know, it's an appliance. You have to have a place to put it. And not everybody is going to do multiple, like, if you're not hard on, like, the hobby and actually playing, it won't really do a whole lot. I struggle to find any other thing in my life that the printer does anything for. If there's like, oh, my headset, I can print out new adapters. So I do. But that's like it. Like, I'll print out 1 or 2 pieces and I'll be done. But with NERF, it's like there's constantly entire blasters to print. Why Instagram banned you for no reason? Because NERF blasters are scary and they don't like it. I couldn't tell you, Mai. Since you don't like doing the same thing, what do you think about the Dart Zone Baby Blaster, Babysitter Bat? We've talked about it a long time ago on the channel. I think it's interesting. I definitely want one, but I don't think it's like a super great, amazing blaster by any means. I do think it'll be fun. I think it'll be banned pretty much everywhere because somebody's going to be tempted to hit somebody with it, and I wouldn't want to catch one of those nails in the eye, that's for sure. I know they're probably foam rubber, but that's still going to hurt. Probably cause a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. But yeah, it's kind of cool because over time 3D printers just become cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. The fact that you can buy like an Ender 3 V2 for $200 is kind of mine. During Black Friday, like if you're interested in this at all, I will say that from now until Black Friday, if you could save up like $300-400, I guarantee you will get a thing that will print all of the things and do it exceptionally well with like auto bed leveling and everything. I don't know who's gonna do it, but like my CR6 SE, how much does one of those cost, right? Which was like when it came out, I don't know, when that printer was announced, like, and like people did videos, they all hated it. I bought one before I saw a review on it, and it's worked really well for me. It's $450. So obviously they stopped making it. They're not going to make any more. Ender 3 Neo? Ender 3 Neo has auto bed leveling on it. Why would you not just buy one of those? It's cheaper than the V2. Huh. Full metal extruder? Yeah, buy one of those. Like, there's so many of these. That's the problem. Like, there's so many options. I got a printer because I play Warhammer and I use Nerf guns, so there are two things I mainly use a printer for. That makes sense. And I guess, like, I forgot about... I don't know how much you use, like, FDM printing with Warhammer. Like, you can. I'm not saying you don't, but I think resin printers completely overtook FDM printing. If I got a 3D printer, I would print 3D printer blasters and RC boats. Yeah, exactly. But I'm poor as heck. Yeah, I get that. But in reality, it's like, yeah, $203 for an Ender 3 Neo. And that is absolutely looking to be a really good, because it has auto bed leveling. And that's probably good. It doesn't have a nice color, easy touchscreen, but it's got a metal extruder, which is not an expensive upgrade, but it's still an upgrade you'd have to do. And it's got the auto bed leveling. For $200, $203 right now. Like, why would that would be a really good, because if you can get rid of the bed leveling, that's going to solve so many problems. But I am positive there are better ones out there. And Elgu Neptune 3. What does this all have? Pretty decent size. It's got direct drive extruding and 36-point auto bed leveling and a color touchscreen for $209. What the heck? Like, that's stupid good. The Ender 3 as a sprite direct extruder. So, direct extruding is very, very nice. It's not a requirement, but it's nice. So normally the extruder, which is what pushes or pulls your filament into the nozzle. On a lot of older printers, the extruder is like feet away from your nozzle. And so it has to, the filament then goes from the extruder and gets basically pushed through a tube and into your hot end where it gets melted and then extruded. Which obviously isn't going to be as good as if the extruder is right in front of the nozzle. Because there's gonna be some leeway between the tube, like the distance between the tube and the nozzle, and that's gonna cause some problems. It still works, but then if you're trying to print something like TPU, which is a rubbery filament, that's one thing that like direct drive is absolutely pretty much required for. So having a printer that has direct drive is very nice. It's not a requirement, but it's nice. This Elgu Neptune 3 has everything. I need to like open up and ignore. I don't want to like dox myself on Amazon. Like, there's a lot of printers we can look at. I'm guessing, like, I almost want to buy one just to show people like what a good first 3D printer. Hey, there's James. I know we started talking about 3D printers because that's what I feel like talking about it. And the second I started talking about 3D printers, everybody left. Or maybe I said something really bad.
Are you Casio's brother?
I do not know a Casio. Sorry. Thank you very much for the $2 super chat. This program gets worse and worse every time I try to use it. There we go. Yeah, I guess that'll work. I'm like feeling particularly unable to understand any. Just 3D printer on Amazon. The Ender 3 SE. What does this have? I actually don't know. Like, there's way too many Ender printers. It has auto bed leveling and capable sprite direct extruding. Okay. I've literally never seen this printer before. 290. There's like 40 different models of this freaking printer, dude. There's so many. So that's probably fine. I don't know. This is really difficult. Like, I wouldn't touch that. $100 printer. Like, what even is this? It looks like a pared down version of the Monoprice Select Mini for $100. What's the build size? 100 by 100 by 100. It's just like you could print a flywheel case. Voxel Lab X2. This looks just like an Ender 3. Zoom printing of these. Okay. Buying an Ender's like buying a Canon. You end up slapping yourself for that one thing you overlook no matter which one you choose. I agree. It's a clone of a Monoprice Mini. Good to know. So there's a basic Ender 3. I have one of these. It works good. Where was that Elgu one we were looking at? It wasn't that one. My goodness, like I can see how easily you'd be overwhelmed. Creality is shooting themselves in the foot so hard by having 50 different models of the Ender 3. Like, I've never even seen the S3. This is really nice looking for the price. So what's the Cobra have? Like, doesn't look like it has, maybe it does, direct drive extruder. Let's see. Yeah, it does have a direct drive extruder. Okay. Double-sided magnetic P. That's a really nice thing to have. And automatic bed leveling. And it says, I don't know what this is compared to millimeters. 220 by 220 by 250. Size 5 soccer ball. I didn't know soccer balls came in different sizes. So that's pretty nice for $200. I don't know what any of these other models do, but yeah, you could pick up something like this and be able to do literally everything. This was the Elgu that I was looking at. This is way more expensive than it was. The one I was looking at was $209. It might have changed the price because I opened it up in a incognito tab, but this was $209 on my Amazon. And that has all of the things that you would want also. It's like, so the race to the bottom is getting like super tasty with 3D printers. So if anybody's thinking like 3D printers are like really bad, like 3D printer filament, it's $20 for a whole roll of whatever this is from Creality. Overture, which is the stuff I literally just bought. Right here. It's like $17 a roll. So like when I'm saying like this whole blaster, wherever this whole thing, printing it out is 250 grams for all of the pieces. One of these rolls is 1,000 grams. So you could print out technically 4 of those And you can tweak settings and stuff to make it less than that, but like that's what I'm talking about. Is like, it is very accessible now. Now everybody is racing to copy Bamboo. Well, I can see why, because I bought a Bamboo printer with the AMS, and it's like, why would I use anything else now? And I honestly, the reasoning for me to buy the AMS is because I'm not like, I don't think the quality is that much higher, better than what I was already getting. In fact, sometimes it feels like it's worse in ways. But the speed is stupid. This printer prints so freaking fast. And then on top of all of that, I don't have to mess with anything. I put rolls of filament in the AMS and I'm done. I don't have to cut them at an angle and feed them through. I don't have to heat up my hot end and pull the filament out, get the roll off and put a new roll off and cut the filament and heat the thing back up and put it in there and hit the buttons to extrude it a little bit and go, okay, that looks good. And then take out the SD card, walk over to my computer, put the SD card in, open up Kira, drag the files in there, make sure I have the right printer selected because I have 4 different printers, slice the file, take the SD card out, put it in the printer. Start. It's like, it's a freaking annoyance, man. And granted, you could buy one of these $200 printers and it will do a lot of the same stuff and do it just as good quality, just not as fast. I'm actually amazed you could buy something like this that has direct drive and auto bed leveling. Like that blows my mind. In like 3 years, my special auto bed leveling printers are worthless because you can now buy printers that cost 1/3 as much. But really cool that you can get like the race to the bottom. It's like this. That's cheap, considering if you wanted to. Like, let's think about this from a different angle. I don't sell crap, right? Like, I never sell anything. But imagine that you would go out and, like, you wanted to print out a Griffin. How much does a fully wired, semi-auto, 3D printed NERF Griffin sell for? Like Flygonio's one. They're like $150, I would imagine. Probably about that. You could print one of those for probably less than half a roll of filament, and granted it will take you, time to remove supports, clean up files, put the thing together. It's a stripe, so you're gonna have to solder like 4 wires together. But you could very easily put that together and sell it for almost the cost of the printer. And that's kind of weird. It's like usually things that make you money, that people know will make you money, have a premium on them.
I wish the Moab was on like Frontline Foam.
I don't think so. The Moab is like an insanely, like, I actually wonder how much people think the Moab, he's going to sell them soon. But it's not a $200 blaster, I'll tell you that much. But thank you very much for the $2 super chat, Longtime Cube Gaming. And it was your first super chat, so I'm very thankful that you decided to waste your money on me. You really don't want, I don't know, like even Out of Darts isn't even interested because he knows how insanely hard though Moab would be to build and sell. It blows my mind that you can get everything for $200 now. Dude, I print out stuff for people all the time. I have 12 printers. I'm about to add 2 more too. And that's not even very many. Like James does this for a living and has been doing it for like a decade. Like, this is the guy that taught me how to do 3D printers before most of my friends that have 3D printer farms even owned a printer. This is the guy who was telling me how to do the stuff, and I think he can attest I'm a dumb. I am very, very hard to teach on stuff and very needy when it comes to, and he helped me the entire way through, and I will never not thank James for that. That's why I call him Sensei. But now you can buy a 3D printer that does all of the automated things for $200 off Amazon. Free delivery by Friday, probably faster if you have Prime. And you could make that $200 back, especially if you have like a local war near you. You can print out like 5 or 6 things and like take them to a war and sell them and probably way pay over your printer and all of the filament you use. It's kind of neat that you can do that now. Like, remember, like 3D printed flywheel cages were selling for like $15-20 a pop. They take minutes to print. I actually haven't looked on the Bamboo Labs, but I bet you like a Strife printer cage probably takes like 12, 13 minutes. So the multicolored printers are where things get interesting. And then of course I have a Bamboo Labs one. So like I have the AMS, I can do the multicolored printing. Really? It's hard to do the multicolored printing? Actually, that's a good lesson for those of you that are somewhat tepidly interested. See if we can open up the thing. I have to like restart my. So, if I wanted to, and this is the cool thing about the Bamboo one, this is actually so easy, even I can do it. I can literally color painting, circle, and I can turn this part pink. I don't know how easy it is to see, but I'm drawing on it. Like, you wouldn't want to do that, but if you really needed to, like, paint an object a certain color, and that's just the surface, you do spheroid, and that will, like, actually, as you can see, I hit it right here. That's actually going to make that pink filament deeper into the print instead of just surface level. But I like just doing the one dot. Like I put one dot right there. Let's actually see. So right now, that one plate, come on, you can do it, would take 6 hours and 37 minutes to print. Or no, 6 hours and 44 minutes to print both of those with all supports and everything like that. So if I put this one pink dot, what? No. I want to go over here. That. There we go. I'll put one pink dot right there. I don't care if that's not good. Okay. So we're done. All right? We're done. Stop. Done. There we go. So now you can see it made this tower because it has to swap the filaments and stuff like that. But let's see what that one dot. Change the. There. I'll change the plate. Are you happy? That one pink dot. Just one. Added like 4 hours. 3 hours, 2 hours, whatever it was. Just that one little pink dot. You can see what it does. It builds this little thing over here because it has to get rid of the excess stuff. And you can tweak all of this. And you can actually even tell it to put this excess filament into the support, which is a cool thing that it will do. But that one dot added hour. It is just one dot. So the multicolored stuff is pretty difficult to deal with. It's easy because you could do a lot of cool things, but it is very not kind of worth doing. Where it can be worth doing is if you have like a flat, like the top of a thing, and you change just the top layer to a different color. But does it let you do something amazing? Like Valtech just pointed out, it took Piggy over a month to print a multicolored vector. And I think he has a multicolored Spanth butt flywheel. That looks amazing. But I guarantee you, it's a travesty of purged, wasted filament. Because the other thing is, like, every single time it swaps colors, it has to purge the nozzle to make sure the colors don't bleed together. And you can change all these settings, and that's where it gets a little complicated. But as I just want to point out, that one pink dot, just one, it costs hours and more filament too, I'm sure. It's at total 219. If I were to go back to that and just get rid of that and slice the paint, it was 219 is I think what it said. It goes there, and so it's like, yeah, it wasted like 40 grams of filament. So you can do it, But if you wanted to like do some wacky stuff, be prepared. Like that was one dot in a different color. Absolutely screwed everything. So if you actually did something cool, and I was kind of like, so there, if you go to the paint thing, there's like a way to make a height range. It's the one that I really liked. It wasn't height, it was fill, I think. Yeah, so I could pick just a surface.
What is the best pro level gun you recommend now?
Long time tube gaming with a $2 sip shot. What's the best pro level gun you recommend right now? The Pro Series X Shot long shot. Just be prepared for the plunger tube to break. So if you're gonna buy a long shot, which is like $30 at most places, go to like Silver Fox Industries and also buy the metal plunger tube and just expect to put that metal plunger tube in, which is still only like $10. And so you're at like $40 total, and that's still gonna outbeat pretty much everything. I can like, this is really like, you can have a lot of fun with this. So like if I just wanted that part to be pink, that part to be pink, that front nozzle part to be pink, let's put that, like, let's make this like I actually wanted to print this, right? Like I'm just doing all sorts of crazy cool things. Let's throw another color in, right? Like this part with the logo. Yeah. And let's do down here, we can do that and that. Right there for whatever reason. Oops. So like, that's, the printer will do this. And that's like what you would, that's like not even that insane for what multicolor printing would be, right? Like realistically, this isn't that obnoxious for a print. Just to show you to have large temperature differences together. Oh, I can't print the black. It won't let me, because I think that was carbon. Let's just do that. Let's just see how difficult it would be for that. It's gonna not be great. So this can be avoided with multiple print heads. But yeah, it went from 9 hours to 1 day, 6 hours, and we've doubled our filament cost. This is now going to require half a roll of filament. Can you do it? Yes. Would you? Not really. No. Like, I mean, it's cool. And keep in mind, this is a really fast printer. I don't think you would. Find my printer. Still trying to connect. There must be an update on the printer or something. Like, you can do some cool stuff. And granted, this will get, like, getting these little edges in here, like, you can really fix this. So if I were to have, let's say, like, these pieces. Let's, I'll just delete. Let's say I wanted to color more on these pieces. Since these are already flat, if I just wanted to, like, very easily do, like, you can do a height range, so you can do a specific amount of it is pink, right? Like, I can do that. It very much does it easily, but actually, that's a good idea. Let's just have a pink stripe in there. That didn't work. Why does that not work? I just wanted a pink stripe in there. I don't know why it's even trying to print this, because this is supposed to be PETG. Whatever. It's going to be actually way better. He says that it has this stupidly long... Oh, because it still has to actually go in there. I printed out the wrong thing. So we're at, with that pink filament change. We're at 91 grams for this plate. That's just one of them. And if I were to remove the pink stripe, $84. So you can see it was barely wasting any filament. So there are ways you can do it that's still cool, but when you go crazy with it, it's very difficult. And it takes a lot of time. Valor points out like a really important thing that I want to play around with more. You can use different filaments, like different materials as support. I haven't played around with it yet, and I'm not entirely sure how to do it. There's a setting somewhere where you can set all of the support to be like, so for PETG, I can use PETG as my support material, and that when the model actively cools, the PETG will naturally pop away from the PLA, which makes your support like way easier to remove, almost automatically. Super cool. But it's also going to drastically increase the time it takes. With all that said, what 3D printer? That's the thing, Undead Slayer. Like, I look on Amazon, and I am finding so many inexpensive printers that do all of the things that you would need a printer to do. And that makes, like, trying to recommend one very, very difficult. Because, like, I kind of wish this was a bit more solid. Like, this Anycubic Cobra is really good. It's got the flexible beds, which these are really nice to have. I like these a lot more than the glass ones that come with all of my other printers, except for the bamboo. These are really good. It's got a dual drive, direct drive extruder, so you can print the flexible TPU stuff with it, which is not only useful for like rubber stocks and stuff like that, but this is just more accurate and better anyway. Super easy to set up. It probably comes with every single tool you need to put it together. And it also comes with an automatic bed leveling system. It might not be as precise as the LiDAR stupid stuff my printer does, but yeah, this is, for $200, it seems like a steal. Is the Cobra 2 better? Like, what is the Cobra 2? It's 6 times faster, allegedly. Supports linear advanced functionality. I don't know what any of this stuff really means. Dual gear direct extruder. Dual axis. Okay, that's important. So instead of just having one rod that pushes the whole thing up and down, it's got 2, which will mean it's much faster and much more precise. I don't know if I trust the printing speed on this at all, but yeah, it's pretty cool that, again, for like $250, is it that much better than the Neo? I don't know. There's a Plus version. Don't know what that does. There's a Max version. There's a Viper. I don't know what any of that does. But if we just go back on like the 3D printer stuff, there's so many that are like, this is an Ender 3. I know the Ender 3. 4 years ago, I'd say this is one of the best printers you could buy. I got mine for $189 a couple of years ago. That was at like Black Friday. So like Black Friday, like Cyber Monday, whatever it is on Amazon, like that's the time I'd look at buying a new printer. If you don't, but even then it's like, you're going to probably only save like $30-40 if that. Is that worth waiting months for? Maybe, if you don't have the money now. This one is the one that I was looking for when I logged, because I'm not logged in, this is an incognito tab, but this one was $209, and it does everything larger print. Like, that's the same print volume as pretty much every single other one we're looking at. It's still big enough. This is kind of the dimensions that most designers put their stuff at. Like, they kind of try to make it work as a minimum of this bed size. But dual gear direct extruder, they're 2 tiny gears, so I don't know how impressive that is, but it does auto bed leveling, super important. Yeah, for $209, which is the thing it popped up for me, that's very inexpensive. And that makes it really easy to recommend something like that, because like, you already don't have to worry about leveling your bed. Like, that's the most important thing, in my opinion. There might be a way to add a subroutine in a program to make you purge block into a shape. You can tell it to, like, use it for infill and stuff like that. There's a lot of things you can do. I haven't played with it yet. Like, would I necessarily trust this $150 printer? I mean, maybe. It just doesn't have some of the very special features like auto bed leveling and stuff like that. And it's from a company I've never heard of before. But it's got decent reviews. And it looks identical to a Ender 3. So, like, there's a lot of printers. Then you can spend $2,000 on whatever the hell this printer is. Industrial grade, all metal. It's not very important. Filament run out. Lots of printers have that. I think this has 2 extruders though. So you have 2 nozzles right next to each other that you can print with right after another. But like, I don't know. Is that worth $2,000? I don't think so. Here's some other thing. This looks suspiciously like the bamboo. Hyper printing speed. Extremely stable, all metal. Huge build volume. That's not huge. New cooling system, no plugs. I don't know if any of that matters, to be honest. But yeah, you kind of get what I'm saying. Like, it's not that hard to get into 3D printing. It's not like I guess I have to do a video on it. Maybe I should try to see if I have all the files from when I filmed it originally. It'd be a really interesting video because I don't think enough, like, people are paying attention to this because they think it's like some kind of inaccessible thing. And there are people on Etsy making thousands of dollars a month, taking other people's models, printing them on their $200 printer and listing them on Etsy. And like, how many times, like, a lot of people are like, why would I spend the money? Like, why is a 3D printed thing so expensive? Well, it's because you have to kind of hand build them. But if you have the time to do that, which honestly isn't much time, buy a decent printer, print stuff out, build it yourself. You can print 2 of them and sell one to a friend or something like that and pay for all the materials you use. Because there's still going to be people out there that never want to deal with it. And everybody could just start printing. Is there an Ender 3 equivalent that does auto bed leveling? There's an Ender 3 that does auto bed leveling. It was like, what was the one I saw? It's like, I didn't even know they had a printer that did that. It's like $160 or $200 or something. That's what set me on this thing. And this Anycubic Cobra Neo looks very much similar to an Ender 3. It's $200. It has auto bed leveling. This Ender 3 SE also does auto bed leveling. I mean, all these printers are pretty much the same thing. Same build sizes. Yeah. The Neptune 3 and the Cobra are both Ender clones with auto bed level. Yeah. I'd ask a friend to print me out Outlaw holsters. Now I want one myself. Yeah. Like again, I have a bamboo, so it's like, this is stupidly easy to print out. It wasn't very difficult for me at all. Like, and I printed them out pretty much just for fun. Yeah. I don't know how much I'd charge, because, like, I don't know. Like, how much would you charge for something like that to actually print it out? $30, maybe? $20? And actually see how much filament it would cost right now. Holster. It's the cylinder. Gun holster. Right hand side gun holster. Slice the plate. So, one of those holsters So to put that in perspective, one of those holsters is, and it's hard for you guys to see because in, I don't know if that's, one of those holsters takes 5 hours and 47 minutes and costs about 150 grams, which there's 1,000 grams in a roll. Some rolls are 500 grams, but most rolls are 1,000 grams. So I could theoretically print out 6 of them, which if I spent the time to calibrate the supports and stuff like that would be pretty. It was actually a pain in enough that I broke one of the holsters the first time I printed one out trying to remove the stuff. But yeah, like he says, I think it was $37 for the holster and a battery cover. But one of these holsters would only cost me about 6 hours and $4 in filament. Now, if I were to put this on my Ender 3, I mean, we can do that. Open this up in Kira. Actually, I don't think I've done that. Let's compare actively. I haven't opened up Kira since I bought this new printer. And keep in mind, it's like a vehicle. There's wear and tear in a printer. There's maintenance you have to do and stuff like that. Like, it's not you buy it once and it just works forever. It's a machine. Things will break. You will have to do maintenance. The window capture. There's literally no option for Kira. Anyway, let me slice it in Kira. On my CR10 Smart, it would do. This is never really that accurate, I find, in Kira. It's taken forever to slice. Wow, I really like the Orca slicer or whatever that Bamboo used. That is much faster. Wow! Bamboo slicer, 5 hours, 47 minutes. CR10 Smart and Kira. 1 day, 5 hours. That's at my standard, I think 50 millimeters a second, which I think James is probably like, that's pretty standard for decent quality. But yeah, that is a lot. That is a massive difference. So, man, that sucks. I don't think this has any support either. Hold on. Not has support. I'm just not seeing the preview of it. It's more filament, and it's only like what, 15% infill? Yeah. I don't know why it's more filament, but again, I don't trust the Kira thing. McDoyle, the loyal McDoyle. Hope it's been a minute. Hope all is well. Thank you very much for staying member, and I guess McDoyle finally got away from Starfield for a second to say hi. But yeah, that's a big difference. I didn't mean for this to turn into a, like, honestly, does it matter that much if you're not a business? Not really. Man, that is, like, again, 1 day, 5 hours, 37 minutes versus 5 hours and 47 minutes. That's 5 times faster? Right? I wish I could show Kira, but it won't pop up in... Yeah, it's literally non-existent in... Huh. I'm using Kira, like, 5.4 or whatever. But yeah. You are never forgotten, McDoyle. You are never... You've come up, like, every single stream in some... Man, that is a massive... I didn't realize how bad that was. But again, if you're not running a business, do you really care? So that's my CR10 in Kira to print out the same file is 1 day, 5 hours. On my Bamboo X1 Carbon, the same file with the same settings, except for speed, obviously, 5 hours and 47 minutes, and it's 30 less grams of filament. Like, man, that is night and day. I don't know if I'd care, but... And I also want to point out that the Bamboo would actually probably usually print it out, like, super high quality. Good luck telling me that this is not nearly perfect. Like, I don't even know how well, like, maybe right here, you can tell there's some... Because obviously there was some support there. But it's like... Can you even tell that's 3D printed? Like, there's some minor telltale signs. But... that's with me having, after, you know, removed the support material and stuff, like... Some of that might be Kira as well. Have they added Arachne? I don't know what any of that stuff is. I really don't. And, like, have a lot of fun. Maybe I'll print out another one of these, or maybe this seems like this, now that the more I'm thinking about, the more I want to do a video where we just show off like how easy it is to 3D print a blaster and some decent recommendations for first time 3D printed blasters, because like this is like the easiest one I've ever seen. The only thing you need is the rubber bands. And I don't think the files like online talked about what bands to use, but I have some random bands, so maybe I'll just see if those will work. Where's the AR-15 Nerf mod? It's coming. I need to work on it more. I just haven't been in the mood, and I'm not going to force myself to do a thing. It'll happen. The whole mod expanded far beyond like the original, like, oh, I'm just going to cheekily spray paint it black and throw a new cage in it. No, I've done major body work and stuff to it. I'm trying to make it actually like as competent as I can get it, but there's a lot of sanding I have to do, and I just haven't felt like it. That's another thing I should probably work on. I've been trying. I don't know. I'm in a rut. I'm in a really, really, really bad rut. Not happy with any. Are you thinking about doing another Clash of the Titans? I would love to shoot more videos with you. I wish we would have had more time when he was here, but we only had like 4 hours. I'm surprised we got that whole video done in like 4 hours, and it looks as good as it did. I learned a lot. Quick question. If you could have any licensed blaster, what would it be? I would like Dartzone to do something like the Trigun 45 long bolt. I mean, most of the licenses kind of stuff I would want would be something out of like anime and stuff like that, because those are the least likely to happen. It's way too easy to say like Destiny, Starfield, Doom, Team Fortress 2. It's really easy to do those, but like the ones that I don't see getting done are the ones that I would kind of want getting done. There's so many games, like, man, I remember like just playing through when I was playing Super Mecha Champions. Like every single gun in that game, like, man, I'd love to have a blaster version. Walcott, what's your favorite Springer as of right now? This is a tough one. Because I did just get my hands on this, and I like it, but it's not exactly that much different from a Harrier. Really like the little pistols I got from Moose. I really like them. Those are kind of like my thinking man's blaster. Sledgefire is always in my heart. Does it cost more than air? No, it's like $70 cheaper, ain't it? Let me see what the Out of Darts has the Harrier for. So the Seagull's 125 on Out of Darts. The Unicorn is 95, but the Harrier, from what I've seen, like if they're two different blasters, I think the Unicorn is it looks really good. But I was talking to Blee a lot about it because he has one. Yeah, and the Harrier's 185. So the Seagull is like $50, $60 cheaper. And if you don't need your blaster to hit 200, 300 FPS, the Seagull is like, the Seagull will hit 200, so ignore me. It could probably hit 250. This one right now, that I have this set up, that's Pinky Primable, is hitting like 190 to 225. It's not the most consistent thing in the world, say that. That's with the short barrel, by the way. I put the long barrel on there, and it was like maybe a 10% increase. It didn't really seem all that much, but I don't have a Unicorn. The Unicorn is shorter than this. The Unicorn, though, at least from like, because Blee and I were talking about it, the Unicorn didn't have like a scar muzzle on his, and it was like, I think the whole body with the stalk collapsed. How do I do that? Am I dyslexic? With the stalk collapsed, is this like 14 inches long? Don't take that out of context. This was like, I think 23 inches long. Measure it again. That is not a metric. That's like 62 centimeters. Yeah, about 24 inches long. 25 and a half. 25 and a half. This was the only, I don't know who sent this to me, but that's been very useful. But like the second you add, like the Harrier is like another, I want to say 8 inches longer. Once you put like a buffer tube stock and stuff on this thing, where you can actually get a decent length of pull, because right now it's practically nothing, it pretty much just starts to become a Harrier. And I feel like unless you're gonna run it, or you wanted something like you, because again, if you don't need to hit 300 FPS, this is far better than a Harrier. If you want the idea of hitting the same velocities this thing hits, and have more options in the future, and you're willing to pay the money of a little bit of a premium to do that, then yeah, get a Harrier. If you already own a Harrier, I don't necessarily think you should buy one of these. And that's made the video kind of difficult, even though holding this thing, like even with this short stubby stock, that might look a little bit awkward, but I can get a sight picture and I don't feel like it's like completely out of the realm of using it. I know it's short, but I can use it just fine. I think it's because of this slant right here. It makes it really nice to use. It makes a nice bracer if you just want to fire it like off the hip or just brace it against yourself somewhere. Like you're not aiming down the sights. It's still very easy. Like I think it's better than the Harrier. It just doesn't fire 300, 350 FPS. I guess the Harrier could hit 350. I don't know. But again, Pinky Primable. 200 FPS out of the box. $125. I think only the first batches come with the metal rails, and these are the same blue tinted metal rails. They don't exactly fit the color scheme. One thing I was upset about is like it obviously has a different trigger thing. This is metal, and this piece down here is metal, but it has a sling loop on it, which I think is very important. That's something I didn't realize that the Harrier had like basically no option for. Metal trigger. Like everything you would expect. I couldn't put the grip guard from the Harrier on this. I tried. The plunger tube is the same diameter but shorter. Plunger rod is the same. The springs are slightly shorter, different. I think this could still take a full Harrier spring. Even with the spring that I have in here, which is the longer spring, I could see it through the holes in the buffer tube, and there's like that much of a gap between each coil when it's compressed. So it could definitely take a more optimal spring load. Barrels are the same. They're threaded. They're just shorter, but you can use the Harrier barrels with it. The bearing pull down, I took it out of my Harrier and put it in this one, so yours most likely won't be that out of the box. I need to mention that. And also, this is the spring return that the Harrier has. That is the same spring inside the Seagull. The problem is that because the Seagull has a shorter prime, this spring bunches up and stuff, and it's going to be impossible for me to show on camera. And I do like this pink. Oh, it's the perfect color pink. That spring, within a little amount of time, granted, I sanded this down, but you can see how scratched up that was. Like, horribly. And it was, like, super crunchy and disgusting out of the box. Like, the first thing I did was take it apart, remove this spring, and I'd have cleaned it. It was the end of the spring. Like, the little edge, where it's sharp. You can see it right there. That was digging into the barrel and scraping the crap out of it. So I removed that so it doesn't have the auto return. I think that's like, it just kind of feels like Worker didn't even test the blaster once. They just made a shorter Harrier and was like, yep, that works, and threw it into a box and sold it. Minor complaint. I like this pump grip, and the thing I really like, notice how I can hold it. Like, so I can use this blaster and I can hold it forward like that, which I can't do with the Harrier. And that is very much how I want to be able to use my blaster. So I can lock it forward like that. And it just feels much better. These side rails suck. I hate them. I'm going to get rid of them. But of course, they're things. The sights are reasonably okay. It's going to be impossible for me to, like, that's probably okay. That is surprisingly about how you would see it before if I were to cover my hands. It's too hard. Like, out of the box, I think it's great. And it does have all the customization, so you can swap out the priming grip with something different. You can take this thing off. This is weird. That's where the Allen key is stored. It still has the Allen key, that spot that you can put in the back here, but it stores an Allen key right there because this requires you to take out this screw right here to remove. But still buffer tube stock. Still pretty much everything. Nice, slightly flared magwell. Saying it's nice. The magazine. This is legitimately kind of Vito. So this is a 15 rounder. Nice and curved. It's got a matte finish on it. It's got a slight, yeah, it looks pretty cool. Also, this will get you banned off Instagram, apparently. Yeah, the Seagull comes with much better iron sights and a usable magazine out of the box, neither of which the Harrier does. It's not just $60 cheaper. You need to factor a magazine into the Harrier. I suppose. I tend not to factor. I really don't understand why Worker, since I know the magazines cost them nothing, they need to include another magazine in the box. Or 2 or 3. Like, screw it. Add $10 and add in 2 or 3 magazines. Like, screw it. Side rails will be really useful for clip-on blasters like the Proud Papa here. There's no way. Like, maybe if you had like the Proud Papa in a way where it's like, is because like, look where your hand is priming, like you would, there's like no way you could have like a Hairja here. There's just none. I really need to buy one of them. I don't know why I don't have one. Side rails are really only useful for the minority of players who have a need for flashlights. Yeah, because we can't use lasers. Blasters should come with the 5 mags like the Spectrum. The Spectrum only comes with 5 mags for buying it on Amazon. The other thing is, like, yeah, you can kind of tell the rails are by far the most protruding thing on this blaster. It actively makes the blaster thicker. And The Eagle magazine is cool and I love having it, but the novelty thing. Yeah, exactly. I didn't actually even try to use that mag in this blaster. I'm sure it will be fine. Priming handle looks funny. It is tiny. Like, it's like they took their normal grip and just cut it. But it works. Like, so here's 3 fingers. You can fit 4 if I really wanted to. Like, it's not a huge ask. But 3 fingers, thumb, and I can use my front finger. That really helps lock it up for me. It makes me, it just feels better for me to be able to have my finger like that. And there's no worry about like when it's prime. Ooh, now I have a dark mode. With it like sliding back or something, because I removed that spring out of the blaster. But it's like not even, because most blasters don't have that spring to begin with, and I pointed this out. And pink mat. I wish the stock would adjust. Well, it takes any buffer tube stock. You just literally remove this one piece and can slide any buffer tube stock on there. How does it not have that non-removable? Also, it does not. I like it. I tried to put it on this thing. Like, you can kind of now do, like, you can't do, maybe if I pull that back. Yeah, okay. It's still a bit far forward. Like, I am struggling to reach that, okay? There's just no way. I tried to put the grip on there, but it's a completely different grip design. I really was upset I couldn't do that. Like, more upset than I should be. But you kind of can. Yes? Like, it's really hard for me. What's the FPS? Out of the box, it's like, I think with the shorter spring, it's like 150, 160. With the longer spring, it's about 200. Also, you can't set the thing up against anything. Because the stock is just like, nope, I'm going to slip it all on all of the things. You like shotguns over like a sniper? Yes. When it comes to like, if I were to pick 2 weapons for me to do all the things, be a pistol and a shotgun. I would like to have my pistol be like a high-powered revolver and cannon, and I'd like the shotgun to be more of a shorter, stockier, like, obliterate everything right in front of me. Kind of depends. That's kind of the thing. With those 2 weapons, you can do pretty much everything. So if I want to punch a hole in something at a very long, like a semi-long distance, shotguns can use like slugs and rifled slugs and stuff like that. And those make holes. Didn't know if you know that. You want to shoot fire, if you want to shoot grenades, explosives, if you want to shoot lots of things, you want to shoot just a couple of things. Shotguns will do all of that. They're kind of freaking awesome. It's like one of the better designed firearm weapon designs like we've ever come up with. You can do pretty much everything. Shotgun love shotguns. Pistols can have shotgun rounds and stuff too. You can also have shotguns that are pistol sized. There's a lot of, not falling. Do a lot of cool stuff. Pistols, you got auto pistols, PDW, stuff like that. So if you just need to have something where you just spray and pray everything in front of you as a last resort, because that's what your pistol is supposed to be. You can have more balanced weapon systems. That's what like the SOCOM MK23 was. It was a more offensively based pistol. Like, this is your primary, is your pistol. They designed it to do all these kinds of cool things. You also have just revolvers, and you can have revolvers that, you know, just are reasonably powerful to absurdly powerful. You can have handguns like the, you know, 50 Action Express and stuff like that from the Desert Eagle that is stupidly big, and there's just a lot of flexibility in those 2 weapon platforms, and that makes me happy. And neither one of these weapon platforms replaces anything on the other one. So you can kind of do the both of the things. That's just my philosophy. That's what I want to need to use both of them. And I want to have that, oh, I need to switch to this thing to do this, and then I can switch back. So if I'm going around a corner and I know the corner is short, I'd rather like, okay, I'm just going to peek around the corner with a shotgun. Because if I see a thing, I just pull the trigger and it's gone. But if I need to go around the corner to where it might be like a bigger room, there might be multiple targets and stuff like that, and I know it's still going to be somewhat close quarters, a nice pistol to clear that would be really nice to have. They just complement each other very well. That's my thing. Most video games screw this up horribly, though. Oh yeah. It's like I don't think I've played a shooter that has respected pistols as much as Black Ops 2 did. Because Black Ops 2 was like, yeah, we're going to give pistols their own unique 2-shot kill range. So you could be doing the Call of Duty running with a pistol and just pat pat. And if somebody's like right in front of you, they're gone. And that's like almost as fast as it would take for somebody to come out of sprinting with a shotgun. You could legitimately beat them most of the time if you were fast enough. Like pistols in Black Ops 2 were amazing. And every single pistol in Black Ops 2 was like legitimately good. I could take on a guy with an MTAR at range with a TAC 45. He'd have a 3-shot kill, I'd have a 5-shot kill. But if I saw him first and I had this little tiny nice, run, pop, 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 it's gone. It felt really good. And people constantly complained that it's like, oh, pistols are overpowered. It's like, no, they're not. They're useful. That's why you're upset. Like Black Ops 2 had the freaking Remington. That was like one of the best shotguns in all of Call of Duty. Call of Duty's had some pretty good shotguns though. Man, that Argus. Ah, who doesn't love the Argus? What about explosive weapons like grenade launchers? Shotgun can do that. A good shotgun can do that. My shotgun in Starfield has explosive rounds and it's hilariously awesome. That's not one big explosion. That is the full pellet spread, also explosive. It's amazing. Starfield's one of the first shooters I've ever played that has a binary trigger option, which is fun as hell. You should play Warzone 2. Now, I played Warzone 1 for like an hour, and I was like, no, I'm done. Halo Magnum. See, that was a fun, arguably overpowered pistol. But that's fine, because like, the problem with like Halos, you have the 2-weapon setup, but it's like, it's stupid to think that like, oh, because it's like, oh, it's a pistol that I replace immediately and it has to be bad. And that's the problem. Like, if a game's going to be fun to me, every single weapon should have a niche use. And most of the time, they don't. And that's the problem. That's why, like, when I got excited, and I'm still excited, and I still want to talk about this in a video, when I look at, like, the NERF Gelfire stuff, and I'm like, if I were to do just a NERF Gelfire war, I have the sniper with the Ghost, I have the shotgun with the Raid, I've got the little SMG with the Hyper, or the Mythic, sorry, and I've got the dual pistols with the dual pistols, and then there's the Legion, which is like that thing I don't really like. It's not that it's unusable or anything, it's just I don't really feel like the Legion offers the same kind of cool video gamey loadout segment that the other 4 blasters have. And like they could keep that up. Like I wouldn't mind if they brought it, like if they brought out like a rifle, right? Like if NERF was like, okay, here's the Gelfire rifle. Well, if it had a slower firing speed than the Mythic, higher capacity, and like, fired about 180 FPS, 190 FPS, so the sniper rifle still outperformed it at maximum range, like, that would be good. In the perfect world, I'd have the sniper rifle hit about 150, I have the 250, I'd have the full auto rifle hit about 200, I'd have the SMG hit about 170, 180. I'd have the shotgun at about 150. And I'd have the pistols at like 150. Would you be interested in a lever action Gelfire? That would be cool. I'm doing full pistols in Starfield, but I'm mostly deadly in a dogfight. That game's grown on me. It's no Fallout though. I'm upset you can't dual wield, but man, the pistols are, I destroy everything. Recently I started using the mag pistol. It's a burst fire revolver. Like, my God, those things are... God, Starfield has so many cool weapons in it. Shotgun slugs aren't exactly super long range, but they have some range to them. That's the thing, is like, a shotgun slug, a rifled one, will do the range you kind of need a thing to have the range for, unless you're like, it's not like you're trying to hit somebody 200 yards away with it. Even though I think you totally could. But like, within the typical engagement ranges, like, if somebody's like, 50 yards away with a A shotgun slug will do the job. And buckshot doesn't really seem to spread as much as video games make them seem. No. But the difference between, like, you know, a 10-yard buckshot and, like, a 100-yard buckshot is like that. Yeah, you can ping me in the Discord. It doesn't matter. I have my pings turned off. But I literally asked you to ping me. Hey, man, I want to be a NERF YouTuber, but I don't know or what to do. Any tips? Do you like NERF? Make videos talking about NERF. Sure, you can watch some other channels to gain some ideas, but don't try to steal or emulate anything anybody else is doing, because chances are you're going to do it worse. Just, if you're passionate about something, make videos about it. The most important thing to YouTube is passion. Why I'm struggling right now. Is the NERF Sledgefire? Do you have it? Yeah, I have several of them. I love them. It's my favorite blaster. Is it worth buying an airsoft sight for a 250 FPS blaster? I'd say so. Which one? Doesn't matter, really. It can be. We'll come to learn that most of the time, if you're like shouldering a blaster, you're doing this. If that makes sense. You notice that I'm not using the sights. You are, most of the time, you have the blaster in your line of sight, you have your target down there, and you're firing by feel. That is like every single, like, you rarely will see somebody doing something like that or using an actual sight. Because foam darts are never made to a high enough standard that they're gonna be all that accurate, even at the longest of sight range. So it's like, keep it in mind, like 150 feet for a foam dart is asking. It's asking a lot. And most of the time, you can get, like, you can literally doom it. Like, you just have the thing, like, in the middle of you. Like, there are people who play like this. And that's perfectly fine. Because really all you need to do is, like, eventually if you fire a blaster enough, and this does help a lot with longer blasters, you'll find longer blasters are easier to aim with. But it's really just a matter of getting used to where something, like, when you're holding it, and where that dart's gonna go. Because, like, most of the time, if you can hold the blaster in roughly the same spot every single time, it's really easy to just, like, look at somebody and go, boom. Like, with a foam dart. Like, and they could be 80, 90 feet away. If you're aiming at somebody sitting behind cover, and, like, only their head or their hand or something is visible, there are times where a sight could be useful. If you have it sighted in, which is nearly impossible. I kind of agree, I think Gelfire stuff is really aesthetically pleasing. Blue icy or red icy? Red icy. I looked up red dite seed on Amazon and went to the cheapest one. Serves me well. Yep, I would agree. Are you saying that longer is better? It can be way. Somebody else can back me up on this. I feel like it's way easier to feel a shot and aim a shot with a longer blaster than it is with a smaller one. Because you can kind of paint the barrel on your target from a distance, and it's way easier the longer out it is. What was the video I did recently where I stopped using the sight and, like, I think I hit the target in the same place like 3 times in a row? The AKBM fiber optic iron sights are honestly the best things you can put on a blaster. They are so good and good iron sights. Like, iron sights are a thing I never really paid that much attention to. Very recently, it seems iron sights have been more and more usable. I get it, Lego. Was it the easy fire? Doesn't seem like it, but... One man has the power to detonate one anime character. Wait, one man has the power to detonate one anime character, has a power to test and experience the most explosive move. Ultra. I have no idea what you're talking about. You know, it's really annoying, the fact that you can't deprime any dart zone blast. This is true. That is kind of annoying. Like, at least Worker understand. Like, granted, I had to remove the stupid spring out of this one, but, like, at least Worker understands. It's like kind of important. You can also just do that. Oh, twisted the barrel. Like, it's not 100% seal. It's good enough. That even register? Yeah. But it seems like it's gotten worse over time. Maybe I have to, like, re-lube something. I really like this blaster. I just need the right video. I'm having trouble. I feel like I should start scripting stuff. Buzzbee darts would be better if you want shotgun spreads, and that's not useless, right? Yeah, but that shouldn't be, like, the point of the blaster. You know what I mean, Jordan? Or the point of the dart. You can't really rectify. It's like, oh, yeah, this dart's good because it's not accurate, therefore it's good in shotguns. Like, having 3 darts, like, if you were to load up a sledge fire with 3, like, Buzzbee long distance darts versus 3 waffle tips, the waffle tips will have a good enough spread that you'll probably rather use those every time regardless. I don't even know what time it is. It's almost 8. I really don't like how the best shotguns are nerfed. See, like, the problem is, like, the only thing I can think of with shotguns, like, it's so close. Obviously, I love the Monkey Mods Firefly, the Colonel Wasp Firefly. They're like the same. Anyway, I really like it with the 50 caliber foam balls in the shell. You get 4 foam balls in one shell, and when you're actively using that in situations, it is stupid good. I have used it in a war, a close quarters war, Captain Xavier's place, but that was some of the most fun I've ever had using any blaster whatsoever. And the ability, like, you'll notice this really quick. If I'm sitting in like around a corner where it's like you could barely see me, I'm in a good position where you can kind of shoot at me, but if I'm just barely peeking with a shotgun, nobody really wants to rush forward because those 4 foot, it's gonna hit you. But the thing is, they will also take a lot of time. They'll, like, stay back, and they'll just kind of, like, pot shot at you for a little while because they will probably outrange you. What they don't understand is that you could swap between 150 FPS foam dart and then 4 foam balls. So it's like, at range, you can still mess with people because they don't know what projectile you're firing. And I've had points where it's like, I've watched people and I've, like, fired and chambered along a short dart, cocked it, and they aren't moving. And they'll just sit there because, like, they know I'm not going to get, they just watched me shoot. And then I hit them with a full, like, a short dart. Because that short dart's going to go, like, 30, 40 feet farther. It's fun. It really is fun. But the problem is that the 50 cal foam balls are basically litter. Like, they're very hard to pick up after war, so they can only be used in certain situations, like indoor wars and the like. I really wish that we could, like, I'm pretty sure the Colonel Wasp Firefly is designed after a Gelfire one that he made. I almost want that version, because I bet you it would be logical to allow gel balls in a Nerf war if they're coming from a shotgun. Because then you have the effectiveness of a shotgun, you have the fun of a shotgun. These are things that you don't really get that well in Nerf, to be perfectly honest. On top of the not really littering thing. We could go into a bunch of detail about how bad the foam ball or the gel balls are for the environment and all these. I can't argue with that, but if I were like, oh, gel blasters are bad because they're bad for the environment. Well, there are millions of TikTokers out there doing so many things. Like, good luck. It's a lost cause. You've lost the war at that point. The best shotgun is the Master Key and the Moto Blitz. That is fun. But that's also 6 shots, right? 6 darts. And it's like a pretty lengthy reload, and they're full lengths. Like, yeah, it's not bad. What are the best mags for full-length darts? Oh, God. What's the best half-length mags? Probably normal Talons. That's why I said we need a rival roundhouse-style mag. Has anybody turned a rival roundhouse into a shotgun? Rival, Roundhouse. So I feel like being able to actually shoot all three, right? It's 3 per cylinder. I don't even remember. It's been so long. Is it 3 or 2 per cylinder? No, it's 3. Oh, right. The cylinder is 1. And then it has 2 extra in some... That's not how I remember it. So technically, no, you couldn't make it into a shotgun. Forgot about that. It's literally a revolver with a magazine behind it. Man, remember when NERF did cool things? Like, that's legitimately a cool blaster. And you can still buy the Atlas. I still don't own a Hypnos. I don't know if I'll ever own a NERF Rival Hypnos. Yeah, they're pricey. I just never got one. What do you think will be next to the NERF Pro line? I don't think we're getting another blaster in NERF Pro. I really don't. See, like, so you're like, I'm hoping for a super stock long shot. Well, they couldn't use the NERF Pro darts that they just were so touting as like the next great thing, because those darts don't work in springers. Will it be a flywheeler? Sure, but then what's the point? Is it going to be better than just the NERF Strife X? They make a Rapid Strike X? They could, but then that would fundamentally just replace the Strife X. So how do they do it? I have a feeling they won't. Or they might do one more. I think the correct terminology, was that they aren't going to do... They don't have plans for springers at this time. NERF Pro just advertised the new NERF Pro P90. No? If they did a springer, they'd have to do a new dart type. Yep. Yeah, I feel like Hasbro's design cycles, like if you imagine they've been working on the NERF Strife X for 3 years, it's like, man, that's too long. And if the NERF Strife X is successful, what's going to happen? Every other company is going to rip it off and just do the same thing. Better. Like the Omnia, the only like slightly worrying thing about the Omnia is it uses a 7.4 volt lithium ion battery instead of a LiPo, if I'm not mistaken. I still think those work fine. I still think the rev times and responses and stuff from the Omnia are still fine. It's the firing response time. It's horrible. And I don't know if that's an issue. It's just not enough like voltage or some other issue. Because like the full auto on the Omnia is responsive enough, but the semi-auto's garbage. Well, thanks for joining us, Ben. I believe someone fixed the Omnia speed with some slight wiring fixes. It'd be nice. I'd like to actually use mine. I'm aware. Yeah, it uses the same blaster, the same battery as the DZ gel blasters, which is smart. That's kind of what I told Hasbro it should do. If you had a chance to make your own blaster, what would you do and what would you call it? It would be a basically double sledge fire. Dart Zone is on top. And then they recalled the Omnia. I think X-Shot won this year. There's still a couple of months left, but yeah. I'm hoping they fix the Omnia, but I still feel like that's going to leave a bad... That kind of killed the excitement for it. Preferred shade of pink. This shade. Also, X-Shot, long shot literally breaks. Yeah, but that's very easy to fix in an additional run. Like, the fact of the matter is the X-Shot, long shot is so good. It's such a minor problem that the plunger has. And it's also, like, so cheap. Like, imagine you spend $100 on the X-Shot, long shot because NERF made it. And, like, it would still break. Like, it would be insane. I think X-Shot should do a flywheeler next. Literally a strife. That's the weird thing. It's like, why the hell? What sense does it make? They have had, like Dart Zone, they have hard flywheel technology, and they've had short darts, and they have not made like a budget flywheeler strife. Like, we got the Mark III, right? We got the Mark III. I knew the next thing was gonna be a freaking Mark, just a strife. Like, just take the Mark III, make it a strife. And they haven't done it. I don't get it. I really don't. That is kind of a joke, Ben. I'm sorry that Australia is... There's jokes to be made there, but I almost don't even want to make the jokes anymore because it's not even funny. I want more auto springers. I think those are just too expensive, standard company to make. The Sweetheart Storm, like, firing mechanism is really simple. I'm kind of hoping in 2 to 3 years we see more of that, because I feel like that is a very easy thing to, like, minimize for mass sale. Let's not forget that every single Insanity Blaster fired. I agree. The Lock Blaster is fired. I agree. Their Gel Blasters are all fire. I also agree. X-Shot won this year, no contest. I agree. I think they came out with a really good pro option, several really good non-pro options, several really good Gel Blaster options, and this is coming from a company that, like, every year never did nothing new. They never did anything interesting or exciting for years. Like, they've had new releases like the Fortress, but it's literally a turbo advance. They've had the Griefer, but it's literally just a Reflex 6. Like, they've been doing the same blasters for years. We got the Crusher, and we got the slightly other Crusher in the Omega. But they never really did, like... How old is the X-Shot Chaos series? What the hell? I literally cannot type. It just keeps typing Walmart. What the frick? Uh, 2019. So about 4 years. And we still have not gotten another blaster in that line. We've got like 7 or 8 re-releases, but no new blaster. That's what I'm worried about. I'm hoping that day and age is gone. I really do. I'm really hoping that from here on out, we get this kind of level of new releases from them, because there's so many things they can do. It's not that the blasters are bad. I would say things like the Vigilante is pretty pointless, or not the Vigilante, the Hawkeye. The Hawkeye looks super cool. But it's a single shot break action, pump action. It's really dumb. And, like, they reshelled that blaster 9 times in every single sub-series. Like, yeah, I'm kind of bored of that. They never seem to really, like, they've been in a rut for years And it's so nice to see them just come out with all these cool things and all the potential they could have. Like, they could do so much more. You think first-time modders could mod a Stampede success? No. No, I don't think so. Maybe with like one of NERF Easy E's drop-in kits, but even I had problems with mine that I was working. Wouldn't cycle correctly. I needed a 4S lipo, and it was so bad. It was super inconsistent. I had it hitting 100 FPS at one moment, and then 100 at the next, and could never get it back to that 180 FPS, and I don't even know what I did wrong. Like, I know we're not really into laser tag, but the Laser 360 set is actually something kind of nifty. I think I had one of those. I never did the video, and then I donated it for Christmas. I just think laser tag's dead. I think the biggest problem with laser tag is, like, there's just no feedback. Like, you're just kind of walking like, oh, crap, I'm being hit. Like... And then you're like, oh, who's hitting me? Ah, pew, 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 pew. I'm hitting you too. Now we just stand here and it's too easy to cheese. I think laser tag's just done. Will you ever be reviewing the Kieran? Yes, I literally worked all week on a video for the Kieran and couldn't get a video I like. Very soon. It might not be my next video, but it will be the video after that. Recoil had promised, but ultimately failed to deliver. But yeah, Recoil still struggled for the same issues that all... I think the only way laser tag could work is like augmented reality. That's the only way I see laser tag working. And even then, I'm not entirely sure how they would do it. Because unless you can see the shots coming at you, and you can see your shots that you're taking them, I just don't see laser tag working. I think an augmented reality laser tag thing where it can keep track of all the players and actually show where shots are going, like, that would be the biggest next thing. And technically we have all the technology to do that right. So it's only a matter of time. I'm not saying VR, like VR, whatever, that also is a thing. Like, people do it. It's way too expensive for the normal person to get into and stuff. But just augmented reality could be a thing where that would work. And YouTube chat is that I'm literally reading the chat right now. I don't know what I'm talking about. Not everybody wants to chat either. Opinions on the Aeon Pro? Really good. It's a very good blaster. It's well worth, if you can still get one for 20 bucks or so, it's definitely worth picking up. Recoil was close, and now they're back with gel balls. I have 12 sets of a laser tag thing that when you get hit, it vibrates and pops off a plate, and that's your life bar, and you can actively put the plate back on, and it's super fun, and it doesn't even require an app or anything to technically work. Man, that's a super cool idea. But the guns do have feedback, and they look cool and everything like that, but it's still, like, the biggest problem is, like, you just kind of walk in and you just hear a burnt, and one of your plates pops off, and you're like, I got hit. Where? What? Like, you could alleviate that if they could somehow mimic positional audio, but that would be cheaper and easier to do. But I think the real thing is going to be some kind of AR, augmented reality, which if you have a set arena in a set place, that would be very easy to do in my opinion. Like, the technology is already there. Especially if you don't try to make it work with a wide variety of different places, then if you have it work with one arena, and the arena may have cameras to track players at the top, and then when a player fires, it can use that data to simulate a shot, so you can actually see, like, laser tag shots off in front of you, and you can actually see where you're hitting, missing, and stuff with laser. I think that would work. Because the biggest problem is there's no feedback on laser tag. which sucks because like I have so much laser tag stuff and I do really like it, but it is like it's so hard to sell to. VR is not that expensive. Your opinion is like the average person's opinion on 3D printing now. We're getting good VR sets for under $200. Okay, well, is there one that you can, for under $200, you can go outside with? Because as far as I know, all the inside out tracking, they use infrared and cameras. And going outside is like a no-go. It doesn't work. And also that's super dangerous. Because now you're like walking out with a full, like that's why I say AR would be better. For the consumer, for the average person, there's no way they have the space to do like a virtual VR large scale, you know, with other people. Like you can do online where you're just standing in place and kind of like, that's fine. But again, it's not the same. I'm talking about a way to like actively turn your environment you have right now into an expanded experience. And I think you could do it with AR, but I don't think you could do it to where it would work with everything. Not without like a lot of scanning of the environment and stuff like that. And it'd have to be hooked up to like multiple devices, hooked up to like a base station or something that can accurately measure where they're at around this scanned field. Because the whole thing is it needs to be able to simulate a shot from point A to point B from a person that you're not even seeing. And it needs to be able to, if that does fall into your line of sight, it needs to be able to tell that to you. So if there's a person over there shooting at a person in front of me, I should be able to see that shot connect with that person or fly past that person, even though I'm not in that fight. And that is a lot of tech and math and stuff like that. If it was a standard arena, it would be very easy because they could have base station cameras and it would be like the field never changes kind of thing. But if you're talking about like a home option, there's no way. The cost of the VR isn't just the headset. You need a machine strong enough. That's true. I mean, most like there was a point there where like the Quest 2 was like $200 and then they rose the price. Some of the old laser challenge stuff, yeah, like I know the feedback, but it's still like you can't see anything. So there's no visual feedback. So you're just like, you hear a vibration and then your life goes down. You're like, oh God, where, what? Oh, wow, it's over there. Ha 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 ha. It's like, it doesn't really work. That's the thing. Like when you see a foam dart coming at you, like you could dodge a foam dart. You can't dodge a laser. I got myself the X-Shot pump action gel. Yeah, that thing is actively really cool, especially for $15. Like it's honestly too good for what it is. And in that case, it's better to do online multiplayer. I mean, that's honestly a thing, but it's not the same. Like if like VR, like Pavlov and stuff like that was so good, why would anybody ever play Airsoft? Not the same. I'd like to see X-Shot do like a freaking, like just next year, like here's a sniper rifle, here's a pistol. Like I'd love them to just eat Gelfire's lunch. The lack of the glow in the dark stuff is kind of a problem. Is it bad that my boyfriend spent $300 on his Nexus Pro? Kinda, sorta. I mean, if he has the X-Shot, the Nexus Pro in one of the cooler color schemes, all of the worker metal internals and stuff like that. I've never had one of those to test, and it's too expensive for my liking. It used to be on Amazon, and I was gonna buy it at one point just to do a video on it, but this was years ago. Oh, you can get the Pharaoh Dart Kit on Amazon from Worker for a whole $61, 2-day shipping. Cool. Didn't know that. Man, Amazon worker stuff is getting better. You can get a Nightingale. I didn't know that. You get a Nightingale off it. Yeah, man, that's kind of cool. Rival Fate Short Dart Stefan Kit. $32 on Amazon. That is rad as heck. That's like, I would do a video on that for fun. Rival Fate? Yeah, heck yeah, I kind of want it. Yeah, and Worker on Amazon is kind of popping off right now. Amazon has had Worker stuff before. I don't think we've ever eaten this good, though. Like, there's a folding stock for $25. The Worker F10 555. Get the sling loops. These are all overnight delivery for me. I can get a Nightingale delivered overnight. That's kind of badass. Actually, everything I've talked about so far is not 2-day delivery. It's overnight. I logged in. Like, I could order a Nightingale right now, and I will have it tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. But I wanted to find, like, that. Yeah. Tomorrow, Half Dart mod kit for the Rival Fate. That is, like, almost worth getting, because the Rival Fate is one of the comfiest blasters NERF has ever made. Like, that's very tempting. Is it, like, what should you do it? Well, $32 a bit much, but still. Is it the Worker store? F10 555 parts. There's only 3 kits. None of them are ones I want. But that's kind of cool. A full auto kit for the Strife for $32. Overnight delivery. The darts are the most important things here, but yeah, they still sell 50 of their old crappy darts for $7 and they're out of stock right now. Mags, get a Talon mag, $13. I think you can get better deals on more. Get a Phoenix. Can you get a Phoenix 2.0? No. They have the, no, you can't. You can get a Phoenix 2.0 without the Select Fire kit, and there is no Select Fire kit on Amazon. Get all the flavors of the Swift. Get all the flavors of the Harrier. Get all the flavors of the Night. Kind of cool. Nexus Pro mod. That's what I was looking for. So, Nexus Pro, all of the kits together. It's not that expensive. It used to be a lot more. It's like $120 or so for all the metal internals for your Nexus Pro. It's not unreasonable. I can't buy half the blaster stuff on Amazon because of the firearm laws in New York City. Are you joking? I mean, I don't know what it's like to fully mod a Nexus Pro to like maximum. I thought there was 3 kits. It's like I'm looking through. Oh no, there is that is the priming link under too. Okay. No, it's 2 kits. It's like $130 probably after. Not that bad. But could you get you could get a Harrier for that price. And I bet you the Harrier will be nicer to use than a modified Nexus Pro. Unless you like the Nexus Pro. I'm sure a couple of people do. My boyfriend bought a C4 and is happier with that than he is. Yeah. It's cool there's an option, because there's somebody out there that loves Nexus Pro more than anything and will buy all the stuff for it. I can't really argue with it. But you're already, like I said, the Seagull is the price of the upgrade kit, and you get a whole new blaster that already has all metal internals everywhere, except for the plunger rod and the catch, and you can get metal upgrades. And it's like, that Pinky Prime. And that's a whole new blaster. Everything you see here for the same price as the upgrade kit. Cheap Nexus. It's kind of hard to debate. Can you take a look at the Super Shredder shotgun from Fortnite? Shotgun, sniper, rifle hybrid. Yeah, but I don't play Fortnite. And will NERF ever make a blaster of that? Maybe. Oh, it's literally the it's the, what you call it, the Argus almost from Call of Duty. X36 doesn't take frontal. All right, well, I think we're good. That was an stream. I don't know if that was a great stream. I was hoping this would revitalize my want to do a whole bunch of fun stuff. Hopefully we can get there. I need to finish these videos. I'm struggling. I've filmed Seagull video literally 3 times. I'm gonna do a 4th one. Oh man, that's a shotgun that's been in Fortnite since 2018. Oh. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. I do appreciate it. It's nice to be able to chat. We do these live streams every Saturday night, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And hopefully we'll have... I almost didn't do one this week. It was fun since Instagram banned me. And I have a couple ideas for videos now. So I might just pivot into something completely different, take a break from these. Like I said, I'm really interested in printing this tonight. Doing a whole documented process. It looks like fun. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone. Have a fantastic night. I will leave the rest of this song. Bye-bye.